Hello and welcome to the Old Man Orange Podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And RJ.
And Cameron.
Back again for another round of talk.
Always.
Oh, does anybody want a drink?
See.
Cameron, do you want something, or are you almost done with that?
Yeah, maybe half a can.
I say, because we can either do this like a civilized person and pour it into a cup, or we can just drink it out of the can. So then we can split all these drinks that I got.
If RJ can hold on to a cup.
Well, you want Monster or Rockstar first?
I prefer Monster first.
The Monster's the best. Monster's the pinnacle of energy drinks, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying, too.
Rockstar Sparkling Energy. Cherry Citrus.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not going to lie, that one kind of sells me by like the look of it, but it actually tastes pretty
Thanks,
good.
dude.
Blue and white, man.
Oops. Fuck. Making all this noise on the microphone.
Sorry.
Dropping shit.
I know. There we go.
Foreign drinks.
Civilized people drink out of a cup when they drink their Monster.
What do I get? Batman?
Yeah, I got the Superman cup. RJ's got the
Avengers.
with no fucking coaster. There we go. Okay. This week's that special week where you get to see all that E3 stuff that makes you excited to spend money. Except for like a lot of it's like to spend money in
Your
a
future
year and a
money.
half. It's where you put like a little folder together where you're like, okay, I'm gonna put an envelope here and save some money for this game and that game, but nobody does that.
I know, exactly. And then your time comes by the game, you're like, I didn't save any money.
Credit
Every
cards.
once in a while, when there's a game I really
No,
want, like a
yeah.
Resident Evil or something, I would literally take like $20, put it away. $20, put it
I know,
away.
dude. Well, Resident Evil's different.
You know, so, I'm talking about like the most important games in the world.
Yeah, no.
Like a Resident Evil or a Zelda or something like that, where I was just like, I really want this, and I want to make sure that by the time that comes around.
So we should...
But it's kind of before credit cards. Once you have a credit card, you're like, oh fuck, somebody else can pay for this, and I can just pay them
Cha-ching.
back.
Well, we should most definitely talk about E3, but we should structure it. I want to start with Nintendo, though, because you seem to know a lot about what's going on with Nintendo.
You want to start off the best?
I got a lot of stuff to say about some of the other companies, too, so...
Sweet. Dude, Nintendo, to me, like, that was the most exciting thing. And I think why they blew me away more than, like, Xbox and Sony did is because a lot of the Sony and Xbox games that I wanted, like, I've already seen a bunch of stuff on them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like Metal Gear Solid 5. It's like more trailers, don't get me wrong. It's cool, but, like, I've been knowing about this one for a while. I've seen stuff. You know, and after kind of Ground Zeroes, too, you kind of have a feel of even what it's going to be.
Yep.
That's not taken away from it, but it's just not that shocking, like, oh my gosh. You know, where also it's like, because the other, like, the three big games for, like, Xbox and PlayStation, which is weird because, like, they don't really have any, like, enough unique stuff, but, is Evil Within, Metal Gear Solid, and, Batman. Those are the three that I'm really looking forward to. You know, there's some other ones too, but I guess these in the next horizon, because some of those other ones look like they won't come out for like 2+ years.
Yeah.
Nintendo's just better at keeping secrets than Sony or Microsoft.
Yeah,
dude.
Nintendo's just great, because I mean, like, Nintendo, like, first off, you know, like, Smash Bros. Is the one thing that we already kind of know about, so they can kind of show that, but it's like, yeah, we've seen that, so whatever. But then they pull off, like, that Legend of Zelda trailer, and it's like, I did kind of, like, the last, about a month beforehand, I heard that there's supposed to be maybe a new Legend of Zelda, but that was it, though. It was just, like, a title, and you're like, well, we always know there's going to be another Legend of Zelda, so that doesn't mean much. And then they just had that one where the Asian guy just sitting there talking, just explaining behind, like, a green screen.
Yep.
And he snaps his fingers or whatever, and then, like, it's like, look at this huge world right here.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere you want in this world. Like, that looks badass. And then it shows where the beast thing comes running at Link, and he pulls out his bow, and it's kind of got that mix
Link
of, like,
looks strange, man.
Well, he didn't have, like, he had, like, just his regular clothes on. He didn't have the
He had, like, orange hair.
tunic on.
Doesn't he usually have blonde hair?
He had blonde hair, kind of, I felt like in the video I saw.
It was... Cause
I mean, it might have had, like, a
few
tint,
times.
because it had cel-shaded, kind of.
Yeah.
What it looked like is it looked like sort of like Wind Waker mixed with Skyward Sword kind of graphics.
Yeah.
Sort of like, it's realistic looking Link, but kind of has like a cartoon flair to it. I don't know, but it looked badass. It was like, that's my Link right there.
Yeah.
Because I remember when Wind Waker came out, there was that kind of like, I don't know, man, what the fuck is this? And I think what really ruined it though is because Nintendo showed like the most sweetest E3 footage of like Link fighting Ganon. It was very realistic looking.
Yeah.
If they didn't show that first, I think the Toon Link would have went over a lot easier, but
I don't know, dude. I almost had a hard time getting into Wind Waker.
I know. Once you finally get into Wind Waker, it's really cool.
Dude, it's fucking amazing.
And ever since I got Mario Kart 8, I finally got like the download of like the Wind Waker HD to play again.
My only complaint against Wind Waker is how long it takes to like sail from one island to the
And they
next.
fixed that in the
Yeah, there's a skip trip thing.
Oh, is there?
I don't
Thank
think.
God.
I don't think it's. Do they have the skip trip thing? I thought it was just like they sped up the wind like doesn't like fluctuate, and then like I think you have to get an item, but it makes it go like twice as fast or 3 times as
I
fast.
thought I
That's
read
awesome.
that they had it to where like if you'd already been there, you didn't have to take the trip.
Oh, badass. Maybe you did.
That'd be cool, but
I don't know. I still haven't played it
wrong.
yet. I've been playing Mario Kart and some other things, so it's just like I'll get to it.
Dude, well, you set your course and go make a fucking sandwich.
That's pretty much what I would do, man.
Yeah, I know. It just like, you had to have a Game Boy sitting next to you.
Come
It's
back
just like,
and you're
Jesus
stuck in a
Christ.
whirlpool getting killed
by pirates.
And you're like, oh my god.
Fuck you, ship. Don't you have a brain?
Yep. Yep.
But you know, the thing that actually, this is the most exciting thing I saw at E3, and I'll explain this like at the 5-minute mark. But was that new Star Fox?
I haven't seen anything. Is
They
it?
didn't show any footage. They didn't show anything. It was just Shigeru Miyamoto sitting there playing the game, or at least all I saw, because I kept looking for Star Fox videos. I couldn't find them. And he was just kind of explaining like, oh yeah, we've been working on the Star Fox for 6 years. You know, we're actually gonna have it come out for the Wii, and then we realized like, well, let's just use the Wii U. It'd be even a better experience or whatnot. And what it's supposed to be is that like, I think on the screen you can see it like the regular view, but then like if you look at the screen on the Wii pad, you get inside the cockpit view.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of got this mix and match, and I know that they're having like you can be in the R-wing. They have a new vehicle of like the helicopter, which sounds kind of cool, and then they do have the ground missions. And I know people are kind of like iffy. Some people like the ground missions a lot. Like I liked them.
I
Like,
like them,
did you
too.
ever play
I think
Star
they're
Fox
cool.
Assault, Cameron? I know RJ did.
No.
But,
The last Star Fox game I played was Star Fox Adventures, and I couldn't take that game
I didn't think that
seriously.
one was that bad either.
I kind of want to go back and play that one. Like it's like maybe it's
Just dinosaurs and stuff, dude. I just
Well, I love
don't know.
dinosaurs.
It was
Actually.
strange.
do you?
It was
Yeah.
strange.
It's one of those games like there's a couple of these GameCube games. I'm like, man, I'd like to really go back and play that. I'm like, oh, I'm like I can't really remember much about that one. I just remember being like kind of different, like because it wasn't there, like 5 flying levels or something in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Star Fox Assault was a really sweet one, but it kind of got under the radar, sort of.
Is that you can get in like tanks and things in that game?
Yeah, that one, they had
Yeah.
tanks. You could go on the ground. Well, you could get in tanks, I guess, also in the 64 one, too. But
Yeah.
you had the R-Wing. I don't know if they had a submarine in that one. We had ground missions, and some people kind of get iffy about that part. But I don't know. That was the most exciting thing, because I didn't think it's like... That's one thing I was thinking about. I'm like, dude, when are they going to fucking release a new Star Fox? It's been over 6 years, you know?
Yeah.
That Star Fox Assault was 2000... No, it's been longer than that. Well, they made Star Fox, like, Command for, like, the DS, and I think that was 2007 or 8.
Yeah.
No, 8. So it's been quite a long time for a Star Fox game. Really, for Nintendo, all I said is, like, the only thing that could make this even better is if they were going to release a new Metroid.
Yeah.
But I heard something that there actually is a Metroid in the works. It's just... It's in day
You know
one
what-
stages.
You know what looks awesome? Like when I watched the Nintendo E3 conference, they're like pre-screened or whatever. That game's Splatoon.
I know, I like
it's,
it, but-
it's the most simple concept, but that game just looks so much fun.
No, I liked some of that. That was like kind of like the that looks interesting because Nintendo always has to release every once in a while like those kind of like very unique games.
Yeah.
You know, like very creative oriented. It's sort of like that's like a Pikmin was.
Yeah.
You know, and that turned out to be a pretty sweet game.
Mm.
And then too bad I never played Pikmin 2 or 3. It was like Pikmin 1 was a great game, but I never got around to playing the second or third one.
Yeah.
No, that was kind of an interesting like take on like kind of multiplayer shooting games, I guess you could call it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was like it was like a kid version of like
Yeah.
a third person type shooter, but they added a lot of really cool features like being able to ink your way across the map and then turning into that squid thing.
Yeah,
Being able
like
to, move
so like
really
wherever
quick
like the
across
ink is
map.
from your like team, you can like warp there.
Mhm.
And I kind of like too. It's like whenever you respawn, you pick like one of your
Yeah.
teammates and you just go right there.
Yeah, it's very like Battlefield almost.
Is that how
you
Battlefield
can
is?
you can
Yeah,
you
you
can
pick
spawn
your-
on your squads and stuff, you know, and like
Or you
Jump
can
right
spawn
back
at
on it.
deployment points that you already
Mhm.
have. But
That's cool.
or in the vehicles, which is always awesome. To go from dying to spawning in the side of a helicopter flying around.
yeah, awesome. Don't even get me started on Battlefield vehicles, dude.
It's okay if you're not good at it, man.
Hey, I'm fine at the Battlefield vehicles. The thing is like I'm not that good at Battlefield. When I'm in a
Everybody
vehicle,
targets you.
I am great.
Yeah, everybody targets you though. Man. As soon as you get in a helicopter, plane, tank, jeep, whatever, dude, you're everybody's target at that
Like,
point.
fuck that
The
guy.
planes are hard to drive, I'll admit, or pilot, but
Oh, absolutely. Helicopters are
no,
insanely
dude,
hard to
I have a hard
fly in those
time.
games.
What
I
is
have
it,
a
like
hard time
Flight
flying.
Simulator.
Not so much that. It's just like just the way they set up the controls of it, it's just like more often than not, I'll like
Some
get into a
people are good at
helicopter, I'll fly straight up, go forward, and then just immediately crash on the ground, just because like, I have no idea how to control it.
I don't know, dude. I have a hard time, dude, playing an online multiplayer shooter that you don't earn your vehicles. You can just go get them. Okay, that kills me every fucking time, dude.
That's
Wait, you don't like the idea? That's a Grand
No.
Theft Auto, though.
isn't that how real battle works though?
No, you can't just go hop in a fucking tank when you feel like
Who
it.
says?
Yeah.
Says who, man?
I like earning my shit through kills. Okay, because then not everyone has one.
Yeah, fuck those people
So,
who can't.
so
earn.
are you excited for the new Call of Duty then?
Of course, I'm excited for the new Call of Duty. When have I not been excited for the new
You're
Call of Duty?
gonna be all up in Kevin Spacey land, huh?
Was Kevin Spacey in that new Call of Duty? I just looked at the headline. I was like, oh, new Call of Duty. I'm like, well,
Was advanced?
is that phone
Warfare.
ringing? You want to turn that
Yeah.
phone off or just mute it? If you pick the phone up and you press the mute button, yeah, it's gone now.
I think it's gonna be great.
It looks really cool, but
I mean, don't get me wrong.
it's,
I like Battlefield. I'm not the most horrible person at it, but
both those games, both what I've seen.
dude, I get killed more
from-
by people, just random ass, shitty ass people driving vehicles in Battlefield than anything.
Yeah.
That and snipers. That's all Battlefield is. Vehicles, people who like to drive vehicles and snipers.
If you're playing Conquest, dude, you just gotta play like squad battles.
I hate squad battles. Dude,
Yeah.
I do not have fun with it, dude. Conquest is the only thing I like to play on Battlefield.
So you got like a bunch of different game types, like every other shooter ever.
Yeah.
But
See-
like my shit is squad battles, dude. It's 4 teams of 4 players, and it's in an enclosed area. No vehicles, no nothing.
Huh,
It's
It's
all
confusing. It's too much, I think. The 4 teams is too much. I didn't, dude. Like, I tried it. That's what I originally started playing on Battlefield, dude. And I was like, I can't fucking take this. And once I started playing Conquest, it was better. But
It's all about shotguns, man. Just
But,
fucking boom, boom, boom.
That's what we learned playing Time Splitters last night again.
Dude.
Now the other guns are panning out, but that shotgun is working great.
Which actually, I went back last couple of days. I've been kind of tinkering back and forth with Battlefield Bad Company. I don't know if you ever played that one at all.
I've never played a single Battlefield game.
I gotta let you borrow Bad Company because that one's at least like the campaign's actually fun and
Bad Company's
destructible
cool. Bad Company 2
environments
is
were
cool.
so fucking awesome. It's sweet to like have somebody, you know, like say like we're in a building like this, you know, and we're shooting out that way. Well, say if you're on the outside, you can't see inside of these little windows, so fucking I'm just gonna shoot a grenade and just fucking blow up that whole wall, you
That was the
know,
good
and then
thing
just
about
take
Bad
it.
Company, dude, is that everything was destructible, pretty much.
That's pretty sweet. That's a feature that needs to be in more games. That's
Absolutely.
very few games.
Mm-hmm. I remember
But I mean,
Red
see,
Faction. Remember
there's-
the
yeah.
original Red Faction?
I never played Red Faction, but I remember those games.
Yeah.
Again, that brings it to, you know, vehicles. I'm just gonna shoot this fucking wall. I can't see inside the window, so I'll just blow the fucking wall apart. In this vehicle, I did not earn.
You kind of got to earn it 'cause every time a vehicle spawns, like everybody on your team's rushing for it.
Well, that's not earning it, dude. That's just trying
That's
to
getting there-
trying to
that's getting there
spawn at the right time.
faster. That was like one of my favorite things to do is like, because I was always a really sneaky class in Battlefield, so I would go to the enemy base and like their planes would start spawning, helicopters and stuff like that, and I would just throw C4 like on the side of their fucking plane, and they just take off, and you just see them like just start to take off, and then just like hit that button and boom.
My
Every
favorite
time.
thing to do with vehicles was just take the Jeep so I can get across the fucking maps.
Yeah.
Dude. That's all I ever used
No,
the
dude,
vehicle for. Just
yeah.
get across fast because the maps
Easiest-
are gigantic.
One of the easiest ways to get vehicle kills is to do the same thing. Like you jump into it, or say like before you jump into a Jeep, load it up with C4, just toss C4 all over it.
Just like be a terrorist.
Haul ass towards a fucking like an enemy tank, and then like, you know, like 50 yards before you get there, just jump out, roll, hit the fucking thing, and it blows up the tank, kills everybody on that side of the map. It's just like cool.
I remember it. That slightly reminds me of like remember Ground Zeroes, Metal Gear Solid. You know the mission where you have to kill like the 2 mercenary guys or whatever or they are.
Hard.
Yeah, well, okay. There's one point where like I got one of them and it was like, oh, the guy's fucking running and stuff, and I was like getting in a Jeep. I'm like, oh, where the fuck is that? Where's the guy is? And I saw it, and he was running outside the fucking fence where you can't go any farther or you get a game over. So I drove that Jeep. I was like, wah, 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 and then I bail, and that Jeep goes straight after him and takes him out outside the boundaries, and I still get the kill.
Did you get it?
Yeah, it was so bad because there was no other way to do it. He was gone. I couldn't
Yeah.
follow him.
That's awesome. I just actually just started playing that again yesterday.
I thought about it.
The I'm sure you did the mission where you're flying around in the helicopter and you got
Yeah,
to,
we gotta
like,
save Hideo Kojima.
God, yeah, that one's actually really good. But
That mission's kind of hard at some points because there's a couple things in there. It's just like I kept killing him accidentally.
I know you keep getting yelled at by that pilot, like RPG over here, and you're like looking around, you can't see him, and then all of a sudden your helicopter goes down.
Yeah, it's like, or sometimes you're like, oh, my gun doesn't turn that far. You turn the fucking ship around.
Yeah.
You know something else is at E3 though that we already seen footage of it, but like I saw even more was the Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah.
That looks so
Yeah,
badass.
That looks fucking awesome.
Oh my
dude.
god. And
It's
me and
a-
RJ were talking yesterday about Nintendo. It's like because we were playing a bunch of Wii U and like Wii games, and it's just like the one thing that Sony and like even Microsoft they just don't get down those like having fucking split screen multiplayer games. Like none. It's just that's always my biggest complaint. A lot of times, a lot of games I literally don't buy because I look at them and they're supposed to be a co-op game and they don't have offline co-op. And I go fuck you.
Yep.
Fuck you. And your
Like I was
purchase.
saying yesterday, dude, I think it's utterly fucking ridiculous to not have split screen multiplayer in racing games anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
your Need for Speed and
Mhm.
like
That's just
the newest
bullshit.
one. It's like-
When you told me that, I was like, get the fuck out. Because I haven't played like a racing game of Mario Kart 8 in such a long time. It's just like, well, what are you supposed to do?
Especially, well, with the Need for Speed that I have, that's a Criterion game. That's Burnout series guys. You know, like why?
And
Why
like, I
is
really
there-
like that, dude. I had a lot of fun playing
Yeah.
it, but dude,
It's almost
split screen
identical
single
to
player
Burnout
only,
Paradise,
like-
though.
dude, exactly.
It's
Seriously,
fucking identical except for those cops. That's the only difference.
cops are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But the whole point of a racing game is
To
that
race
you're
your
supposed
friend.
to, like, your buddies are here, and you're like, oh, well, let's play something. Because mostly it's like the two go-to games more than anything else.
I know,
It's a
dude.
fighting game or a racing game.
Mhm.
Because they're quick, they're fun, they're the number one multiplayer games, but it's like, why would you
Well,
take
see,
that out?
me and my brother, dude, we went to, because, dude, sometimes me and my brother get this fucking bug, dude. We just want to fucking play a multiplayer game, just a badass fucking, like, multiplayer game. So we'll go to GameStop, dude, and we'll sit there and look through everything, dude. And last time we
Can't
went,
find
dude,
nothing.
we couldn't find anything. That's why I ended up buying Split Second, dude. And he ended up buying Dishonored.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, obviously we went the other way.
Well, I've,
Because
like,
we couldn't find a multiplayer game to play.
well, because me and Kyle will play, like, the thing that we'll do is a lot of times we'll get all, like, kind of, like, co-op shooting game, kind of action-oriented ones. But there's almost, like, I felt like I maxed out on Xbox, that's, like, under 10 games, you know? Like,
Oh,
Gears
yeah.
of War has always been good. Gears of War always gives you co-op.
Yeah.
I think, because they've always been kind of proud of that, too. And I'm glad that they kind of have that.
You know,
The only thing missing in Gears of War is I wish they had split-screen, like versus mode, but they don't have that.
yeah.
Like, you can only play 2 players. You can't play
Did
4.
you play Army of Two?
Yeah, those ones are
very
really good.
similar, Very similar to Gears of War.
Our Army of 2, we played through all those ones. Those games were great. I
Mhm.
liked them a lot. I know some people don't care for them, but
I only played
I
the
like
first one, but I thought it was really good too.
the first one's that's probably actually the best one, but they're all really good though.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind of thing about Army of 2 is like the game almost knows that we're not nearly as polished as like a Call of Duty
Mhm.
or a Gears. So instead, we give you all this sweet shit you can just keep like upgrading and unlocking and stuff like that. And it's like that's badass
Yeah.
because like it doesn't play nearly as smooth
I
as
want to
Gears.
play
but-
through the second one.
The 40th day or something like that. Something like that.
I sold the first 2 for some reason at some point. I think I just every once in a while I get to the point where like I needed some extra money. Oh, I can sell these 2 for like 20
Did you
bucks.
ever?
I got the third one though.
I want to say it
For
was a
Xbox, if you wanna borrow that.
PlayStation.
I
but
do.
think it was on
Actually, I
Xbox.
want to play.
Did you ever play Mercenaries? Those
No,
games?
for Xbox?
Mhm.
No, I remember Adam Gold had that.
Man, those games are so much fun.
Dude, I thought about it.
Well, you know,
Playing
the weird thing too,
Mercenaries,
on GameCube and like Xbox, there was tons of co-op games.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did you have, and Halo's always been good about that too, but you know, not only did you have Halo, but you had Time Splitters, you had that game, you had, I'm dropping like a lot of those older first-person shooters. At least all the 007 games you could play multiplayer, they didn't have co-op in them, but
Mm-hmm.
007 makes kind of sense there's not co-op. It'd be cool if they did have it, but...
Yeah, it's funny that you're mentioning all these multiplayer because it really has been a really.
Well, because I'll tell you the list of games that I've come across that were multiplayer co-op shooting games for Xbox: the Gears series, the Halo series, Left 4 Dead, but then like Payday wasn't in the same company.
Strange.
You know, that's why I didn't buy Payday. I was like, fuck you guys. I was so excited for that game, so excited. I looked at the back of it and went, nope, fuck that. You know, and then Army of 2.
No, but dude, I'm sorry. Ever since Payday, playing Payday 2 at your house, dude, I haven't stopped thinking about it since, dude. I want to play it so bad.
Oh, it's like, I bet they're sweet games, but it's just like...
Yeah.
And then there's other games too. It's like you play them. They're single player games. You're like, why is this not co-op? Like Bulletstorm. Like, why is that not co-op?
Serious.
That should be
That
totally
game's
co-op.
so fun,
And
dude.
even like games too that like I know it's more of a single player game, but like I think it should be co-op anyways. Just like sort of like a Final Fantasy VI style co-op, if you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Because Final Fantasy VI, you could have it where like it's it's an RPG, but you could have your buddy kind of control like two of the characters, and you could control the other two.
You know,
Mass Effect, I thought it's like you have those other fuckers standing around you the whole time.
Yep.
Why don't you just make that co-op?
You know who does that decent? I mean, the second game was alright co-op, but the third game was really good. Fable. Did you ever play through any of the Fables?
I watched some people play the first one. That was about as far as I ever went.
I have 2 and 3. You ought to, if you want to. I mean, that's a game. Kim and
Fables
I play
co-op?
that.
It's
Yeah.
co-op. I see that blows my. I would have.
Two
That's
player.
like I would not even went to.
Dude, I played through the first one, dude. Like, I fucking hammered through that game,
Yeah.
dude. I did everything I possibly could, dude, and even continued to play.
The problem is that it's not split screen. It's all same screen. So like you can only go.
So it's like San
far.
Andreas.
I kind
Yeah.
of like that
Yeah, exactly.
sometimes, though.
Exactly.
There's some games
But
that
it
works out
works,
really well.
You know.
Well, that's cool though, because it's something that's so hard. But I look at Nintendo and I'm like, man, I can play the new Wii U games. Like I can play Mario Kart co-op. I can play both the Mario games co-op. That Donkey Kong game I can play co-op.
Yeah,
Speaking of Fable,
Other stuff I'm probably thinking of I can't think of.
Did you guys see Fable Legends?
I
Dude,
saw
haven't
a
played
quick
Fable
little
since
article
Fable
on it.
1.
Dude,
My
But as
brother-
I said,
my
since I never
brother
really played
played-
Fable, it doesn't jump out at me.
I had
Yeah.
a chance to play through Fable 2, but my brother owns it, and I have the 360 to play it on, but I don't know.
I love it, dude.
It's just, dude, it just seems like it would be the same as the first almost.
The second one, there's so much more shit than the first one.
I
There's
should play
so
through
much
it.
more, and then the third one's
I
even
look at it almost
better.
every single day. I look at the
Really?
case. I'm like,
Dude, I love Fable 2. I've played and beaten that game probably like 6 times. Like it's one of those games that you can just pick up and play anytime. And what's really cool about it is because they have so many different things, but like one of my favorite things to do is purchase properties on that game and then rent them out to people, and like you can either be like an asshole and like jack up rent really high,
It's
and make
badass.
a ton of money, but people hate you, or you can leave it a little bit lower, and people like you. But what's cool about it is like you can put in that game, buy all those properties, turn off that console, or not turn that game, or put that game back into your console for like 6 months, and all that money will still stack. Like it still keeps track of all that. So as soon as you like pop your disc back in, it's just like, oh, you get 60,000 gold.
dude, one thing
That's
I
pretty
thought
cool.
was
So it's like Pokemon Gold and Silver.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only explanation.
Another thing that turned me off to Fable 2 is I heard it's a hell of a long game, actually.
It's really long. It's really
Like,
long.
it takes a long time to do all the shit and all the missions. But, dude, one thing I loved about Fable 1 is watching your character change, dude. Like, on your
Yeah.
choices and stuff like that.
Well, that was
dude.
one of the first
I
games
mean,
that kinda
obviously,
had
I
that in
started
there. Or at
growing
least first
horns,
big
red
ones.
eyes, and flies started buzzing around
Yep.
my head and shit like that. But
No, the best
chose the
Fable
evil
3
route.
did it really well because they did with your magic spells and stuff. You could do like Fable 1 or Fable 1 and 2. You have like all your magic. You shoot like an ice storm, or you shoot like a whirlwind or whatever. Fable 3, they had it to where you can mix those together. So you like, say you want like a fire ice storm or something like that. It's just like raining fire and ice at the same time, or like you like shoot a whirlwind with lightning, and you got this like lightning storm like fucking flying around. I don't know. All the magic attacks were
now,
sweet.
I want to try out. I want to play Fable 2 and shit.
Two is rough. Don't get me wrong, but 3 really
Well,
improved.
dude, 2's got to be smoother than 1. So it's like you're talking to someone who my last memory of Fable is how like 1 was, and I thought 1 was pretty good actually. I had a lot of fucking fun with
The
it.
beginning of Fable 2 is a grind. To get anywhere in that game, to get like money and stats and things like that, it's a grind. Go into that expecting that. But once you get, your stats lined up a little ways, like the game becomes really fucking fun. And like I said, it's a lot better with co-op. Like, because you can have your second player helping you, like gain experience and everything else, dude.
Dude, dude, Call of Duty, dude, that's one thing, dude, is that their online co-op, dude, is probably the smartest thing they've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Split screen online co-op is fucking great.
Well, that's another feature I think is another good one too. Is if you're gonna play online, like I like those kind of games because the older Call of Duties didn't allow you to play online with 2 players.
I know. I think
And I always thought that was kind of silly. And then I think would you say Black Ops 2 was the first one to do it? Because that was the
Black
one.
Ops 1 was the first one
Okay.
to have split screen co-op.
Online.
Oh, was that before Modern Warfare 2?
Modern Warfare 2 was before Black Ops.
Modern Warfare 2 didn't have
Modern Warfare
split.
2 had it, I'm pretty sure.
Dude, I don't
It
think
didn't have it
so.
online. I don't think.
I don't think it didn't have it
Because
online,
I remember-
that was the first Spec
He
Ops
signed
one.
on as guest, though.
Dude,
Maybe that one did, but
I
whatever.
don't remember.
I know Black Ops for sure. I know
I'll
that.
tell
I'm
you
pretty
for a
sure Black
fact-
Ops was the first one.
World at War definitely did not have it.
Yeah.
That's the one I know.
And I don't
for
think
sure.
Modern Warfare 2 had it because I was playing Modern Warfare 2 at Casey's house still, and we were trading controllers off.
Huh. Yeah, you're right. I don't know.
But
Not Call of Duty guy.
like that's another thing too. It's just like I know the first Gears of War doesn't have it either, but like from 2 on out, they always do.
But
See,
dude,
that's where Halo had it. I mean, minus Halo 2. I mean, Halo 3 and everything past then has that split screen online too. You can
It's just
sign
like
in
it's
as
just
guest.
if you get a buddy, it's like why that's kind of like the whole point. And then so many of these games don't have it.
You could actually 4-player.
Can you really?
Halo 3.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about Reach and 4, but I know Halo 3 you could 4-player split screen online.
That's pretty badass. Well,
Yeah.
back to that whole roundabout conversation at co-op. It goes back to that Hyrule Warriors. At least the upside of that game too is it's coming out. I think in September. I think
Yeah,
it said.
yeah.
Or
I think that's one of the titles that's being
because
released
there's
this year.
really nothing really coming out this year generally other than Smash Brothers, Hyrule Warriors.
Well, that's the same across the board. I mean, not
What
just
the hell else?
Nintendo.
Pokemon's coming out this year, but they didn't really have a specific date. Because you just go online, everything says December 31st. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That new Pokemon looks sweet. It's a remake of Ruby and Sapphire.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
dude, I don't know. I love Pokemon, don't get me wrong, but dude, I mean, like, it's just, I don't know. They're just adding Pokemon. That's all they're doing. They just add more.
They need to make a
and more,
console
and
Pokemon.
more.
That's the key thing I'm thinking is just like,
Exactly. We need. I need something fresh when it comes to Pokemon. Here.
that last Pokemon, X and Y, though, that was one of the most fresh Pokemon games I've
I
ever
didn't
played.
play it. See, I didn't play that one, but
Now, this
like,
the new one right here looks like it's more just taking what X and Y did, but just reamping. Pretty much the same thing that Heart Gold and
Yeah.
Soul Silver did.
yeah. See,
Or
like,
the same thing that the Fire Red Leaf Green did.
I can go back and play Gold all day, dude. Like anytime. Like I'm not really burnt out on Pokemon. Why would I play the newer ones with a ton more Pokemon to remember when I can play the older ones with all the Pokemon I'm already familiar with?
Yeah,
That's
Pokemon's
why-
one of those ones, but like, that new one though, it just was so fucking awesome.
Like I had Gold on my phone for days, dude, with the emulator and shit. I played that shit for a while.
See, I
Just a few months
didn't.
ago.
I didn't go past Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Really?
I mean, like I
Dude,
played
Gold
Yellow.
and Silver.
Yeah,
were
Gold
great,
and
'cause They
Silver.
only added like 100 Pokemon or something
Only.
like that.
Yeah, well, now we're like,
Dude,
at
that was
70
I know,
Pokemon.
dude. Now they're like 750. Back then it was only like 250 or 300 or something, dude.
For me, it's like those ones like I'm past the point of like gotta catch them all. Like it's like now it's just like I don't.
I just
really,
gotta
it's
play
like,
through the
level up.
game.
I just want give me my best Pokemon, and I'm just gonna level up these like.
Exactly, that's how I am, dude. But dude, one thing, dude, I thought was great about Gold is you got to go back to like
Yeah, the cool thing
you
about
got
Gold,
to go
you beat
between
the whole main
Kanto and
story,
Johto, and then
you could go back to the original
like,
world and
yeah.
see like what happened like over
and you
time.
get to play through
Yeah.
those gyms and shit like that, dude. So it's like you got to go through and get 16
It's literally almost like a
badges.
double game. It's so badass.
So it's like you get the old games plus.
And that was
Gold.
Do you have a DS?
Game Boy Advance.
No, it was Game Boy Color.
Color?
Game Boy and Game Boy Color.
Yeah, you could have played it on regular Game Boy if you wanted.
It was like the color enhanced
Yeah.
ones. And you can get the remake for DS.
Okay.
You have a DS? Well, you get the emulator of it. Around.
Pokemon
I
emulators
really-
were
I
great.
need to get it
It
for
seems,
DS.
dude, even on my phone.
I want that 3DS XL.
Yeah,
Those
that's
screens
pretty
are
sweet.
huge, dude. They're so huge.
They look really nice.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I used to
I
regular
have a
one.
hard, dude. God, it's like poor people get the 3DS right away, dude, because then they start releasing all this other shit, dude. I mean, it's the same thing with
that
anything.
new one,
but-
the 2DS.
Yeah.
It's like a 3DS, but it
It's
doesn't,
actually not
doesn't
really that
close.
bad. I'll tell you this: if I didn't have a 3DS and I was going to get one right now, I'd probably just actually get that 2DS one because
It's
the
cheaper.
well, the 3D, yeah, it's
How
cheaper.
much-
That-
how much
and when,
cheaper is it?
when you could save, it's like $50 cheaper.
Really?
And I'll tell you this: I never use a 3D feature, anyways. I'll
Yeah.
throw it on every once in a while just to look at it for a bit. As I goes, huh, that looks kind of cool. Click.
Yeah.
How much is a 3DS?
3DS, I want to say is 170 still. I want to say the 3D XL is 200 and the 2DS one's 130.
Dude, I want to go. I should get a 2DS, dude.
The 2DS like
The problem
it
is
doesn't fold.
It's
That's okay.
huge. It's huge, dude. You can't put it in your pocket.
It's
Well,
kind
I mean, I would strictly,
it's literally made just like how can we make this like cheap? So it's like we take away the 3D screen, so we just put a regular screen in, which once again, as I say, you'll never use that 3D anyways.
Take away the hinges.
Yeah, you take away the hinges.
even like
So it's kind of like having a big old-fashioned Game Boy almost.
So it's like, are we able to like play each other if I have the 2DS? And
Yeah,
you have the
there's
3DS?
nothing else different about it. The only thing
Dude,
that's
that's
taken
fucking
away.
Sweet, dude. I'm gonna pick up a 2DS.
It's
Fuck.
just the 3D taken out of it. And as I said, yeah, if I was going to buy one right now and I didn't have one, I would get that one.
Dude, I should invest in one.
I mean, the
I
XL
really
would
want
actually
the
probably
3DS,
be.
dude.
You know, actually, I will say this: if I had the money, I'd get the XL. But for $70 like savings,
Yeah, dude.
you go
No,
get
dude,
like
I'll-
4 games with
Yeah.
that.
Exactly. No, dude, I'm actually gonna think about picking up a 2DS now.
I know, like, because yeah, a lot
Now
of
that
people were
they're
talking
having-
crap about it online. I was like, dude, that's the greatest fucking idea.
Mhm.
Like, why not?
For cheap.
Well,
broke bastards like
Super
me.
Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Now that
Well-
Super Smash Bros. Is coming out on 3DS, I might consider getting one too.
I know, and that's coming out. Like the cool thing too is they're releasing it like a little bit before the Wii one. Because really, at first I was like, if they release them the same day, like I've done that before. I bought games kind of same day. I got the Game Boy version and the console one, but it's like I knew I was just gonna probably get the Wii version, probably never get the 3DS one. But since there's like time in between, I'm like, oh, I'm definitely getting both. Then.
I'm still waiting on something cool for PlayStation Vita to come out. Because, I mean, there are cool titles, don't get me wrong, but they're all downloadable.
And a lot of the cool titles for Vita that I see, that's like, they're kind of just like remake games, or like games you can get on the console, but like it's a portable version. I'm like, because I like that kind of stuff.
Pretty much the whole reason why I even bought the Vita was for Kim, and she got to play Uncharted on it, and then she beat it, and then past that, it's just like, well, now we got this console that just sits around and does nothing.
I know, because like, I mean, there's other cool things, like I look up like, oh, you can get Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 for it. I'm like, that's pretty sweet. But I'm also like, yeah, but you already own like 5 copies of all those games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I have Metal Gear Solid 2 on PlayStation. I got it on Xbox. I got it on 360. It's like, how many more times do I need these games?
The one cool thing I will say about the Vita that I really enjoyed was being able to take my Vita to work, or the Vita to work with me, and then being able to access the home PS3 and playing all my downloadable games off the PS3 through a network over in my Vita.
That's
Because like,
remote play
the
is
PSP, you had to like.
cool.
that makes it really amazing, actually.
No, that's hella cool.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, I saw gameplay of Uncharted 3 the other day, like for the first time. I've never like actually seen like
You've never
gameplay.
seen
Uncharted 3?
Dude, oh my god, it looks so much smoother. The fighting looks so much fucking better, dude. Like it was like gameplay of someone shooting, dude. I was like, dude, fuck, I gotta get to Uncharted 3.
You gotta start blasting through those.
I am, dude. I've actually been playing it a little bit, dude. But dude, Uncharted 1 is just, dude,
So
it's
rough.
hard, dude. It's hard.
so rough.
Dude, like I hate to say that about a game, dude, but like considering all the shooters I've played, like that have come out recently, to go back and play, it's
Yeah,
I don't feel that there's enough tension on a PlayStation controller for me because I'm just not used to it. I'm so used to Xbox, but I don't feel there's enough tension on that right stick on a PlayStation controller for shooters for me.
Well, for
I'm
me,
all
I'll
over
tell
the
you
place.
this: like one of my main reasons why I probably pick up an Xbox always over at PlayStation at these moments, I like the controller more.
Oh yeah.
You know, even though I know I've played the PlayStation controller way before the Xbox, but when I got the Xbox one, I was like, dude, is a Dreamcast controller done better?
No.
Like, and I'm like, and I love the Dreamcast controller.
Hands
so.
down, the Xbox controller, in my opinion, the Xbox controller is the best gamepad ever made.
Yeah.
Like,
The only downfall, it's like PlayStation. The one thing that I think they got a little bit better though is their D-pad's better.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But I don't know how the Xbox One is. Maybe that one's D-pad's totally revamped.
It's single now.
It's not that
instead
weird.
of having that circle.
Not the
thing on it.
Genesis style.
Mhm.
Except for my Genesis one always works sweet though. It's a little smooth.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Even though I will say actually my favorite modern controller I played so far though is the Wii U one though.
Yeah.
I think like, and I like
that
I like big
gamepad's
controllers.
cool.
Like I was somebody who like I love that fat Xbox controller that came with the first one.
The Duke.
Yeah, like that thing was like, and I don't even have that big of hands, but I just like something big to hold on to. I don't want no like tiny thing. You know, it's kind of like like the Game Boy SP. After a while, when your arms are all like in T-Rex form, like that one kind of hurt. Like after you're like, it's just the Game Boy Advance is a little bit nicer because it's just a little wide.
Yeah.
I like the PlayStation controllers.
Oh, there's no doubt.
I'm not saying anything against them, but
No,
like,
yeah.
if I'm comparing like the Wii one to the Xbox to the PlayStation, it's like
Yeah.
the Xbox and the Wii controllers I like much more.
But if I'm gonna play a shooter, I'm so much more comfortable on an Xbox controller. It's just, like I said, they just get their tensions right and their curved triggers. Like on the PlayStation, how they curve inwards towards you. Like my finger slips off that
Well,
constantly.
you're not. Well, all the shooters I played, you press R1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
PlayStation does the R1. That's one thing that gets me about going from PlayStation to Xbox and Call of Duty is the grenade fire buttons are switched, dude. So I'm throwing grenades when I'm trying to fire. Just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Granted,
But-
with the way the Xbox controller is, you couldn't have...
It'd be weird if
I would
it's fucking
disagree if RB was the fire button, dude.
Mhm.
Like, the right trigger is
Yeah.
definitely the right button to be the fire button, but
Yeah.
still.
Now, good EA news that I saw at E3. Battlefront.
Mortal Kombat?
The Star Wars Battlefront.
I don't think that's EA.
Oh, really?
No, Mortal Kombat's Warner Brothers.
Yeah. But Battlefront.
Dude,
the
Ed
new
Boon's-
Oh, yeah,
Battlefield.
okay.
Ed Boon was throwing out that Jason Voorhees might be in the new Mortal Kombat game.
Oh, yeah, I know
He's a
you were
lockable
talking
character.
Really.
Yeah. He put this picture up on Twitter, and he's like, "What do you think?" And it's just like everybody's like, "Fucking
I
awesome!"
don't know why the fuck I thought Mortal Kombat was EA. The hell's wrong with me?
You never know, man. They might buy it one of these days. But all the new sports games, Madden NHL, FIFA,
Oh my
all that.
god!
Dude,
Have
they
you
look
seen
crazy.
the screenshots for the new Madden?
Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude! I can't believe
Just
how
like as
realistic
realistic as
it looks.
possible?
Dude.
Mm.
I don't know how they're gonna get more realistic when it comes to a Madden video game, dude. Like I was.
No, it
Well,
almost
do you
looks
remember
very
playing
realistic.
NFL 2K and going like, "Oh my god, this thing is so"?
No,
weird."
yeah, for sure, dude. But no, dude. Like seriously, dude. Like, oh my god, dude. It's like it looks like the fucking players, dude. And I thought that about the last Madden, dude. But dude, this one looks way better.
Even
dude.
FIFA. Like I'm not a big soccer
dude,
fan. I don't
like
play
soccer,
soccer,
but-
but the technology and the engine that they're running on that game is just the way the ball moves, dude. It's just like it's so precise.
You know the thing about FIFA, dude, is it's still a hella fun game even if you fucking hate soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Like the only time I've ever played a soccer game, really, I think, is Mega Man Soccer for Super Nintendo. But
That's fucking awesome.
that's the one too where like you're running by, you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna make a fucking goal," and then like Cutman like throws out his blades and cuts you into pieces. You're like, "The fuck." Yeah, soccer's one of those things. Is like,
Dude,
I don't like the idea of really playing it or
UFC.
watching it, but
yeah, I was about to say the newest UFC game, dude, is fucking ridiculous how realistic the fighters fucking look, dude.
it's it's like the graphics, just that
It's
that
like,
next
dude,
level.
I wonder what the next gen consoles are gonna look like. Holy
know.
shit, dude!
And it's good because I
We're
remember
gonna be
when
playing
360
live
first
action
came out.
video games for real, like.
The 360, I remember, didn't like for the first couple of years. It just felt like it just was like, well, it looks just like a slightly higher resolution, like Xbox graphics, you know.
Yeah.
Press start on that. It'll
That's
skip
the-
that.
that's
well,
the-
for the first,
It's the same as we're at the point
for
we're
the
at
first
right now.
little while in 360 at least.
Yeah, and then over time, it makes a big difference. But like,
Well, that's exactly where we're at right now. We're just 10 years down the line. You
yeah,
know,
and
like,
now it's like
from there.
it just felt like this one kind of jumped on board pretty quickly. Like in 1 year, we're already seeing like really good graphics.
Yeah.
Dude,
Well, like
oh
I
my
said,
God.
dude, I'll say it once, I'll say it a million times. Q4 2015 next year is when everything's gonna be like, wow.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Next,
'cause
next
really it's like-
E3 is gonna be
I'm shooting
crazy.
to get a PS4 around February, March.
Yeah, me too.
That's
I know.
when I'm like. That's when I'm really realistic.
Gear.
Gonna get one. I know Metal Gear, The
God, I
Evil
hope that's
Within.
released.
Yeah,
Whatever the fuck else is coming out.
yeah. Because just hit the power button on the Wii. Just
I
hit
got a
the
question. Do you think that they're still gonna sell? Well, I don't know. Once like, well, yeah, because PS4 games are still $60, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you think price wouldn't? I don't know.
They said that I heard something about like
See, it's just
they
seems
said
like
something
I
about
feel
games
like
being $69.99, and people were
Exactly.
bitching on the internet. I'm like,
that's
do you
why-
guys remember how much a Super Nintendo game used to cost, and an N64 game?
That's-
They used to
that's-
always be $75.
You know, and I'm worried about like the price of games
No,
going
they-
back up to like $70 because like the next gens.
I
And I
don't
think they only went down because they went to CDs, because cartridges are more expensive than making CDs.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll do that or not. I know what's being talked about now is because Steam, being from Valve, is dominating the downloadable content market.
Did you see that Alienware console come out? Like that just looked like such a smarter thing compared to like the Steam box.
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, it's
It's the same thing, but it looked like they just kind of like instead of doing like the weird like Steam like. They try to be too inventive. It looked like with some of the things.
Mm-hmm.
This one just felt like, here you go. This is kind of what you really want.
Yeah. Well, what's cool? Well, I'll get into Steam boxes here in a minute, but like going back to the price points of these next gen games coming out, I have a feeling that digital downloads of games are going to drop price. Probably you'll probably start seeing $50, even though it's only a $5 difference from a physical copy.
Dude,
Well,
that'd be
once
so- that'd be great.
GameStop and Best Buy and Walmart can't carry video games anymore, then we'll have that where they'll probably drop a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why I feel like those downloads have to be so expensive is because, all these big companies come and go, whoa, 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 whoa,
Well,
whoa.
yeah. I mean, you can't.
What the fuck?
You can't charge less here, but charge more here. But
You know what pissed me off is on that Mario Kart 8, like, I bought that day one or whatever, and I looked on Amazon like a week later, maybe a week and a half, the game dropped fucking $12.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Oh, they must have just did something like, they're like, oh, we sold so many of them, drop it a bit.
No, it happens, man. I see, like, the one game that I know of that retains its value, at least GameStop terms value.
Yeah, well,
is
GameStop, I
fucking-
know for a fact, it's still the same price.
Fucking Call of Duty, dude. That game is $55 all the way up until
That's
the
fine.
point of the
yeah,
next
sure.
one.
Thanks, man.
Like, I guarantee you can go. What was the last one that came out? Ghosts or whatever.
Yeah.
I guarantee
That's
you go.
what?
You go to GameStop and try
wanna
to pick
mix
up
and
a
match
copy.
it?
Yeah, it's cool.
Did you? Sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, you can go to GameStop like right now and try to go pick up a copy of Ghost, and I guarantee it's still $55.
Well, I remember when, this sounds weird, but when World at War, when I was looking for that one, it was like, they released 2 other Call of Duties afterwards, and that one was still like hanging at $30 used, and even like a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, that value did not go down for a long time. Like now you can get it for $15, and that still seems kind of expensive for how old it is.
Yeah,
Halo 3. Halo 3 still to this day, I believe, is $15.
You know what's the sad thing? Halo 4 is $9 used. I saw that. I was like,
Because it's not that good.
You know,
and then Halo Anniversary is like $26 used. I'm like, Christ, I'll just wait till the Xbox One version comes out.
one thing I'm stoked about, and like it's a little thing to be stoked about, but when I do get my PS4, I can download Ghost for like $10. Because I already bought the physical copy.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
a lot of companies are just
I heard it. That's a smart thing too. It's like they need to do that more.
Then I just pay $10 and I can have it on my PS4 instead of having to buy the whole new fucking game.
I'll tell you, the one announcement that I saw that may sway me into buying an Xbox One soon is the Halo, the Master Chief Collection pack.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll be the one to probably get the Xbox One first.
I want to play, dude. To have Halo 2, like my favorite,
Remastered.
my absolute favorite Halo game,
Is that your
remastered
favorite Halo
in
one?
HD. Yeah.
Strange enough, I like the main series. That's actually my least favorite one, but
Really?
it's just because I don't like playing as the alien. That was my only thing.
Yeah,
It
dude,
sounds
I did
racist,
not-
but like I did not.
I did not really like the going back and forth between the aliens.
Yeah,
You like the
I-
Arbiter, dude? The
I
Arbiter's
hated
a
that part.
badass.
That was always the part where I
it
sat
kind
there.
of took away from it for me, dude.
Well, and
It's
everybody
just-
looks the same. I don't know, that sounds racist too. Like,
Yeah.
everybody fucking looks.
They all look the same.
I don't know who to shoot. Like I end up shooting my own teammates all the time. Like that's my only complaint. Like other than that, though, I really like that game.
Yeah.
Dude, I love Halo.
No,
2,
the best part about this remaster isn't so much like that they're remastering Halo 2 and you get that single player experience. It's the multiplayer. They're keeping the exact same multiplayer. No classes, no running, no bubble shields, none of that
Well, the
shit.
other cool thing too is it sounds like the games kind of play in unison. So you can play online and you can go like, oh, okay, we're gonna play a map from Halo 4,
Yep.
but then we're gonna play a map from Halo 1, then the Halo 3. You can like
You can
go
set
back
up
and
playlists.
forth. Like it's not like you have to go in and go, okay, we're playing Halo 1 right now, or we're
Yep.
playing Halo 2. It's like they're all interconnected.
Yep.
That's one of the few games coming out this year that's like makes me kind of
Yeah.
want to get a.
Dude.
I'm at this point right now where like I actually have some money. I could get a PS2. Or a PS2. I can get a PS2. Oh my god, guys! No, I could go out and buy a PS3 and catch up on all those PS3 games I never got.
Yep.
But I'm also so close. It's like, should I just get an Xbox One? It's kind of a toss up. It's like that PS3. If it just would go,
Dude, you got a good another year.
if that PS3 would
almost a
fucking go
year.
down in price, I've been looking at a PS3 for like 3-4 years. It's been $250 plus. It never went down.
How much gigs is that?
The one I was looking at was about the cheapest, best deal. Felt like it was the Last of Us pack. It was $250 and it was a 250. Everything was 250. 250 gig hard drive.
That's a good fucking deal, dude. That really is.
It's
dude.
good, but I guess it's just like
He
you
doesn't
know,
have the
a lot of
internet, so
cities-
that hard drive space is kind of...
Well, yeah, I know, because it's like, well, I literally, don't get me wrong, I question that 12 gig one, but that almost feels like that's made for somebody who wants to play 1, maybe 2 games.
I'll put it this way: my dad has a 12 gig PS3, dude. So it's like, if that says something, dude, like
Have you
he
looked
won't
into
use
refurbs?
all 12 gigs in his whole life.
I was looking at some used ones too, and I was like, you can pick up a used one for about $150, you know, give or take.
Well, if you get the refurbished one from GameStop, I bought a refurbished Xbox 360.
Yeah, my refurbished Xbox 360 didn't.
And really?
No, that one's I bought that one brand new afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah,
I bought one refurbished off eBay, and it lasted me like a year and a half. Like I'm not that picky. Like if something lasts me like, I got a good year out of it. I spent $130 or something on it. It was great.
One controller that package came with, The Last of Us one.
Yeah, so there's some used ones
See,
I
if
found.
there was another controller, I'd definitely say, dude, you need to like pick that up because that would make it work.
Yeah,
if you
it
ask
was
me.
like one of those ones. I just felt
I
like it
don't know,
needed
dude.
like some other belt. Well, there was a better pack that came out like when I was looking at PS3s like a while ago. It was $250 and it came with Last of Us and something else. It was 2 games for the same price.
I don't know, dude. I think the 250 is worth it, but just because.
You know,
Last
but the only
of Us
downfall is like,
it, but
you know, is you know, it's $250 plus tax plus you know buying like a couple other games. So let's just say it's $300 as a package deal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a $300 like away from where I can get to like that Xbox
no,
One.
yeah,
you
no,
know?
I hear you, dude.
And I mean, like now at the moment, there's nothing for that Xbox One really. The only thing I think is coming out this year is Halo, like the 1 through 4, which is really I can go out and buy all those games sort of at the moment and play them. It's not like I'm totally missing out on, and I have half of them anyways.
I wasn't really impressed too much by Microsoft's E3 press conference. Like, it seems like, well, actually, I can honestly say the whole E3 press conference this year, I wasn't really too impressed by because it's all shit that's going to be coming out next year. Like,
Well, Nintendo's the only company that had stuff coming out this year because you know Nintendo at least we had, as I said, we had Hyrule Warriors, we get Smash Brothers, we get Smash Brothers for DS or 3DS, we get Pokemon for 3DS. I want to say there was something else, but
See, dude,
there wasn't really any. I mean, like that was like all there is this year
in terms of E3, dude, the only thing.
Oh, there's those like. Did you see those things with Nintendo, like those amiibo or whatever they call them? It was the Skylanders, but Nintendo stuff.
I was like, what?
Well, I couldn't figure out what it did because they said they're like, oh, you'll be able to use it on Mario Kart and Smash Brothers. I'm like, as long as I don't have to fucking unlock characters by buying those, I don't want to like make Smash Bros. Become this like fucking $250 investment. I mean, don't get me wrong though. It's like that. I will say because with most of the Skylanders and stuff, I didn't care. It's like, oh, it's Disney or it's something I don't know what it is.
I never played it.
I mean, people say it's fun, but I'm like, but if you start putting Nintendo characters in there, I might go like, oh, sweet, it's fucking like I can put this like Link action thing in there, action figure, and it'll like do some things on my gamepad and whatnot. But that could sell it slightly on me because it's actually something I like, but it was kind of weird. I don't know. Hopefully that fades away, that fad.
Yeah.
And then, there's one more before we go any further. Did you see that Devil's Third game coming out for Wii U?
No. I read about it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I didn't see a video on it. Because a lot of times I just, like, it's easier just to read than to watch. Like, I'll watch the ones I really want to see.
Mm-hmm.
But I just gotta get that old-fashioned thing. It's like, oh, just give me a fucking article on it.
Yep.
That looked pretty sweet. It looked like this kind of, like, sort of a hack and slash shooter type action. Japanese-style game. I don't know. I can't remember if it was Japanese or not. But,
bloody?
Yeah, just a really violent game.
Sign me the fuck up.
It looked pretty badass. It was pretty much like Nintendo's, like, even though it wasn't made by Nintendo, but like their like big mature rated game coming out, and it got exclusive rights to Nintendo. So I was pretty stoked there too.
I think the most exciting thing I saw at E3 this year was in the Ubisoft press conference for two reasons. One, Assassin's Creed Unity looks awesome. Like, I've played Assassin's Creed. Every Assassin's Creed game is the same, but this one actually looks really promising with 4-player.
The funny thing about Assassin's Creed, the way that I watched that trailer is because it was the ad that came on before I watched the Legend of Zelda.
When did the fourth one come out? Not that long ago, right?
Mm-hmm. The Assassin's Creed, the one that's
when is this next one supposed to come out?
Probably next year.
Is it this year? I think it's
I
October.
don't know, dude. It's just
year?
if it's this year, that's
October.
really
No, it must be because why would they show a commercial
They're
for it? If
releasing.
it's
I feel like they're releasing Assassin's Creeds lately, like
Oh,
between
they are
3, 4,
yearly.
and this new one, dude. Like,
No,
like
they're all yearly, and that's
Well,
that's the problem because it's going into that.
and
Call
some
of
of
Duty
them come out
situation.
twice.
dude, I can't keep up, dude. By the time I started playing through Assassin's Creed 3, 4 was already planned on coming out.
Well, that's what happened to me. Is like Assassin's Creed 1 came out, and then I borrowed it from Dunnigan like later down the line. And I played that one, and I stopped playing because the game got like glitched and it froze in an area where it couldn't go any farther. So I was like, "Fuck this!" And then I got the second one. The second one was amazing. I really liked the second one a lot. And then I went out and got the second. Not Brotherhood, Revelations.
It went Brotherhood.
I got Brotherhood,
then Revelations.
And then Revelations came out, and it was just too fast. So I just I never got around to playing Revelations. So then I got the third one came out. Like I got a little bit after that one came out, and I still haven't finished it.
Third one was just.
And then they released that PSP Vita one too at the same time. It's just like
what was that one called? That was the one with the chick assassin.
yeah. And then they had the fourth one came, and just that's the only thing. I love those games, but they were just like.
Dude, I love
Back the fuck off. That's not the only game we play.
I love Assassin's Creed 3, dude, but because, dude, it's like a fucking history lesson, for Christ's sake. But, dude, there's too much.
That. That's what I actually like about it. Like, I love the fact that you're just kind of back in time.
Exactly.
And
like,
it really makes
cool.
you feel like. I remember playing the first one, I was like, dude, I feel like I'm in Jerusalem. Like, 1400s Jerusalem. I feel like I'm there.
The third one, I was like, fuck, I feel like I'm walking around fucking in the colonies.
And even the second one, too, it's like, fuck, Leonardo da Vinci's making me gadgets. This is so fucking badass.
Dude, the third one had
that.
way too much sneaking around and eavesdropping on conversations.
Yeah.
Dude, that really killed it
was
for
a
me,
turn
dude.
off.
I was like, wow, like, this is so slow. I gotta listen to these guys, walk over here, listen to them again. I don't give a fuck what they're really saying because they're not talking about anything necessarily interesting.
Well, one of the things, this is something that's always bothered me in video games, though, is I hate those sneaking missions where a guy sees you, like, oh, and then restart the mission. And that's all it is. Just some guy sees you, like, oh, there he is! And he's like, beep!
Ubisoft is so bad about that, too.
Well, you know why? Because they're fucking Splinter Cells. That's why I stayed away from Splinter Cell 1 and 2.
Chaos Theory fixed that.
Oh, Chaos Theory, there's only one mission in the entire game where you can't kill some people. Because that was another thing, too. It's like, in the first Splinter Cell ones, it's like, they were like, well, don't give me a fucking lethal gun if I can't shoot somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I just played through Chaos Theory again a few months ago.
I have that on Xbox. That's such a good game.
Fucking amazing.
Strange enough, I never played any of the other Splinter Cells after that. Like, Chaos Theory was so good, you think that would have sold me on the
Double
Agent was pretty fucking good.
The multiplayer in that game was so
Then
much
they had
fun.
another one after
See, those
that.
kind of games, I feel like...
I think there's another one coming out or
Conviction.
something.
Well, there's a bunch of them after number 3. There's like 4 other ones.
I know,
Yeah.
and then there was like
Something I should
Blacklist
just-
or something like
Yeah.
This is the latest one.
Okay.
It's like I should just go out and buy them because this is the great period of like, in a sense, 2014. It's the year where like there's not really anything for, let's say, Xbox One, PS4. They stopped kind of releasing games for PS3, Xbox 360. So we're sort of in this limbo state where there's just not too many new games. But the great part is this is where you go and play all those games that like you never played.
Yep.
You know, and you get them all for like
Uncharted.
$10, give or take.
Max Payne 3. Only games
I
I'm
wanna
currently
play-
playing.
I've been playing the Force Unleashed games because I want a Star Wars game I never played. You know,
Force
Dude,
Unleashed, sweet.
No, it's fucking
No, dude.
badass.
Far Cry. Far Cry 4.
I know,
That
dude,
is
I
the
want-
absolute one,
Dude, I need
one
to play
game
through the
at
third
E3.
one.
that one actually looked really badass. I watched that trailer.
The third one
Did you
was
play
crazy.
Far Cry 2?
I never played Far Cry after the first one.
I don't
It
really
was
like
decent. It was Ubisoft's first attempt at Far Cry.
I don't really like Far Cry 2. I loved Far Cry 1.
Mm-hmm.
But Far Cry 2 didn't really
Was
catch
a
my
little-
attention. But Far Cry 3 is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But
Well, they go back to the jungle setting. That's what they need to stick with because the desert setting in Far Cry 2 was just kind of like, nah. There's not enough out there, you know. It's just barren wastelands all over
The
the place.
jungle, I thought was made cool because it made me feel like Predator.
I
Yeah.
know exactly that.
But Far Cry 4 going up to that fictional place called Kiryat or whatever, and you're like in the mountains. It's pretty much the Himalayan mountains, you know, in East Asia. But
That one did look badass.
God, dude, it looks like so much fun. And now they have co-op in that game too. It may not be
badass.
split screen, but
Oh.
at least you can still, you know, like.
Well, that's once it's like with these new systems, like they better fix that problem. Like
Yeah.
I'll take into account that PS3 and Xbox 360 just weren't powerful enough to handle co-op like split screen for a lot of games, for especially smaller publishers. But it's just one of those. Well, actually, I take it back. Fuck it. The smaller publishers are the ones that mostly give you the
Yeah,
co-op. It's
yeah.
It's the big ones that don't.
It's the one
Does
that-
So like they better fix that problem. I'll be pissed if they don't.
Does Far Cry 3 have a versus?
Yeah, there's online versus multiplayer, and then there's
I'm talking-
specific co-op missions.
Is
Like-
there
Spec
is
Ops.
there an offline like 4-player split screen kind of like the first one was?
I don't know, because I have it on PC. I don't know.
And I that's one thing too is like sometimes I don't like when they do that too, where they give you like, okay, you have
I don't think
campaign
so.
and you have online like multiplayer and whatnot. But then they go like, well, if you want to play like split screen, we have these special select missions you can play. Sometimes I don't like that. Like I like the Spec Ops on like the Call of Duty. At first I thought that was kind of cheap, but I actually like those longer. But a lot of times they come across as kind of half-assed.
Well,
Like Rage had that too, where they had like those, like an hour and a half worth of these little teeny missions. You're just kind of like, okay.
yeah. Ubisoft did it well in Far Cry 3. Because you have your single player missions that you play by yourself, obviously. You have your multiplayer online where it's all versus, you know, like 8-on-8 versus, and then you have your co-op, which is 1 to 4 player, but it's its own separate story. So you get like 2 stories out of the game, you know, between single
That's
player
cool.
and the co-op. So I mean, they did it well there. I'm really excited to see what Far Cry 4 brings, though. So sick, like. Having elephants in that game, dude, that just run around and pick
Calm
people up
down
out of
up
their
there,
chambers.
You're really excited.
I'm too excited.
No, dude, it sounds badass, dude.
I'm too excited.
Yeah, that looks sweet. I'm not even like really because like first person shooters. I think that's why I
You
never
just
played
were at a loss for words
know,
for a
I was
second.
just like-
the elephants.
Dude, jumping off like a giant mountain and just like wing gliding all the way down to like a little valley down below just to go fight some more guys. It's just, I don't know, dude. That game looks so expansive and so much fun. I can't wait.
I didn't realize Ubisoft did the Stick of Truth.
Yeah.
I had no idea. No wonder it's
Ubisoft
a
does it
fucking game.
fucking huge, dude. They're huge.
Well, Ubisoft, because I remember when Ubisoft on PS2 and GameCube and Xbox era, their games were I was always very iffy about them because they always glitched out a lot, especially if you're in an elevator. I had like the elevator problem in many games. I remember it was fucking Prince of Persia Sands of Time. Like I got stuck on an elevator once. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna save right here. And then when I went back, the elevator wouldn't fucking work. So that's where I realized fucking save multiple files on that. Same thing happened to me in Chaos Theory. There was a part where I was in the elevator. The elevator just never fucking opened. I mean, that was a little bit easier because you didn't have to restart the entire game. You just had to restart the level.
That's the other game, dude. Ubisoft, their Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh,
Did
yeah,
you see
dude.
that? Holy shit.
I'm surprised they're making another one.
That game looks
actually.
incredible, dude. Like, I mean,
gonna be
again,
fucking amazing,
it's
but-
only for what they showed. It's multiplayer, you know. Like, I'm sure
Yeah.
they'll have a campaign and everything.
But
After getting a teaser 2 years ago for Rainbow Six Patriots, and like they had like a couple like screenshots of Rainbow Six Patriots, and it looks so cool. And then 3 months ago, they announced they scrapped the whole project and they're working on something else now. And then for Siege to come out, it's just like 8-on-8, or sorry, 5v5.
I'll tell you this: I haven't played a Rainbow Six game
counter.
since that first one came out for PC.
Really?
Rainbow Six.
No, I take that back. I played like a tad bit of Rainbow Six 3 when it first came out for 360.
Really?
But
That's
like
the one we were playing?
Vegas, dude.
Oh yeah, Vegas. Dude.
no.
Vegas
Is that the third one?
No, I don't know how Rainbow Six are, because there's so many different ones between PC and
I just
console.
really hope they put in like the enemy waves and shit like that.
Oh, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they
Or
will.
like, I don't know, what is it called?
Just so that it's
What's
a
the game
terrorist
called?
hunt.
Oh yeah, Terrorist Hunt, that's right. Dude, I fucking love that, dude. That's like one of the best things, dude. Pick out a level, split screen with your buddy, dude, and go down and take out all the terrorists in the level.
Mm-hmm. But just it kind of goes back to that DICE thing with Battlefield, how they have like destructible environments and stuff. Did you watch that video for
The new Battlefield?
for Rainbow Six, the new Rainbow Six?
I didn't watch it. I read a little article on it. As I said, it's like I'm not the biggest first-person shooter fan, so like a lot of times I look at a lot of these ones, I look at them really quickly, and then, you know, it's like Gears of War was something that always really surprised me how much I got into that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like, other than that, though, it's like, I like the 007 games a lot.
Well,
But first-person shooters, like, it's like, and I like Metroid Prime. And when I play first-person shooters, I really like them, but they're not generally games like jump to go get. Like, I don't feel like I have to get them day one. I don't feel like, especially if they don't have co-op in them too, I get kind of iffy.
I feel that this new Rainbow Six is going to be interesting because of how destructible everything is. So, like, for example, you have your terrorists. Like, this one thing that they showed is, like, inside this house, you have your terrorists on the inside. They're barricading up all the walls and windows and everything like that. And then you have your counter-terrorists, and you have to, like, pick out a way to get into the house to save the hostage, you know? So...
Well, because that was what made the original Rainbow Six. Is that was a pretty realistic game when that came out for PC in, like, 97 or 8. And even though, because that was the first game where I played, I was like, the fuck? You get killed in like 2 hits?
Mm-hmm. And I just found my Rainbow Six Lone Wolf the other day for PlayStation. Fuck that. That game was hard, dude.
All the Rainbow Six games were really hard. Because I guess you were used to things like Doom and Duke Nukem. I mean, even though those games were fucking hard too.
But it's sweet. They showed this one video where the terrorists had the hostage in one room that was on the first floor. They like shine like a little, you know, droid, whatever those things are that go underneath the doors and can like look around in the room
little
and
snake-like view thing.
So they do that. The guys like set up to breach that door on the first floor. The second guy runs up the stairs to the second floor, sets a charge on like one of the walls on the second floor, blows that up, sets a charge on the ground above where those terrorists are, and blows it up from underneath. Dude, it's like that type of stuff looks fucking awesome. Like the other one where there's like a guy down a hallway and he's in you know, they're not able to shoot at him, so what the player does is he shoots out the window next to like to the right of him, and there's a sniper outside that gets to hit that guy from like a flanking position, like that type of stuff, like
just that
really
like
crazy.
real like work together as a team kind of like I like that kind of thing. Like that's where I always thought it'd be fun, like something I thought for many years, just to set up your house where you just had 3-4 TVs there and you just got all your buddies over and you just had really, when it gets back to go back to fucking 1995 and have those like LANs, like that's to me is better than sitting at home all alone by yourself playing with your buddies online. Why not you just get everybody together, set up the TV?
I still love about Halo, dude. You can still land that shit.
I know, it's like that's like one of the greatest things too. And it's like, well, I think about it too. Like you can't do that with the Wii anymore. But I guess what you can do though nowadays is you can set up a bunch of systems and just have them all hook up online, like Wi-Fi or whatever they need to be hooked up.
That seems how everything kind of went. But that's what I loved about even the newer Halos. You bring 4 consoles over, 4 players per console on 4 different TVs. You got 16-player match right there.
Well, in high school, we used to have this thing that was called the Technology Club. Is that what it's called?
We were
literally supposed to be learning a bunch of like stuff, but all it was people going in playing Halo 2 and Super Smash Brothers.
There were like 3 or 4 TVs up.
Yeah, well, it's funny because we had one of those projectors hooked up and had it on, and a couple like just rolled in TVs and everything. We just had like a bunch of big matches going on.
So you actually did that. See, what I did in high school was I got Halo. I installed it. Because my fucking teacher is stupid. He gives me his password to his computer because I told him it was for a project. So I install Halo on every single server in the school, so anybody on any computer could play it in the school. So I did that.
Halo 1?
Halo 1.
Yeah, because that one I remember that was the main thing to have that game on PC is to have it online first.
Yep. So he caught on to that. He deleted that file, and then I still remembered his password, so then I go in and I install Quake 2 on all the servers in the school. So I'm sitting there in Spanish class playing Quake 2, and there's people in the library that are playing with me. There's people in like the band room. There's people in the fucking science buildings all playing, and like pretty much got that whole community around. Like playing all these games. Over all the servers on school.
me and RJ had the sweetest system ever. It was very primal, but we would play DS games.
Mm-hmm.
And we had 2 classes, literally wall to wall, and we would play a lot of Mario Kart DS. That was like the one we played a bunch of. And we had this knock system where we would knock on the fucking wall. And I can't remember exactly what it was. It was like 1 knock was like good to go.
Yeah.
2 knocks was like stop. We had to win for 3
Three was like emergency. I had to shut my DS. I had to bail.
And we would literally, because like that was like when DS, I was like, cool. He was like, oh, dude, you can fucking play. You don't need a trading cable. Like you can just play wirelessly.
Yeah. The thing is, dude, is like when I was in Miss Shaw's class, I sat in the middle of the fucking classroom, dude. So
I'd be like, ask people the
chance, dude, hit the fucking wall, man. And then you'd be like, what? So I'd be like, hit it once.
And then you'd hear it go across. Like, the fuck is that?
Yep.
And then I'd be like, I know what's going on. Slap my backpack up, put my console right in there.
Oh, that reminds me of another thing.
That was awesome.
The very first time I ever heard of game sharing was on PSP, because me and my buddy Rory...
Is game sharing the one where, like I get a digital copy and then I can let you have it? Is that the one?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I had Burnout on PSP, and I used to be able to invite him to my game, and he didn't have the game, obviously.
That's how it was on DS.
And be able to play it like that.
Because I didn't have Mario Kart.
No. Far Cry 4 is doing that now.
Huh.
So where... I mean, you have to be online, obviously, but, like, you can pop in that disc into your console, invite your friend over, and he can jump in the game, and he doesn't have to own it.
Oh, sweet.
That's like fucking cool.
That's kind of amazing doing that, because, with the DS, it kind of makes sense, because that's sort of like an investment. If you want to really play multiplayer in those things, it's like, everybody's got to have a DS, everybody's got to have that card, so by having just the one card. And the thing was, it was almost like you got a demo, though, because we only got, like, 4 levels to play. RJ always had to play as like Shy Guy or something like that. Yeah. You didn't get all the bells and whistles. But it was almost kind of a good way to say.
But I mean, you shouldn't if you didn't buy the game.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't get like the
all
full
the characters and shit like that.
So I wonder if Far Cry will be like that. Will you get the full game or will you get like?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, like from what I heard from all the interviews and reading up on it and everything, is like you get the full game, but you have to be in the game with that first player. So.
Because that doesn't bother me if it's sort of like you get sort of like a demo mode kind of, but like it gives you something that you can at least play with your friend before he gets the game. And it kind of like entices him to buy it.
Yeah. And
like that doesn't bother me because we all know that money's how these things get made.
This was another really interesting thing. So I go out and I buy StarCraft 2 from Blizzard. And I install that on my computer, and then it comes with 2 World of Warcraft like trials, and then 2 StarCraft trials. So I got all excited. I posted that up in the gaming forum on Facebook.
Did you have to pay to play StarCraft online? What was the StarCraft trial? Was it just to
servers.
give to your buddies or something like that?
No. It's just like they give you those free like trial version. Have you ever seen those like cards? I don't know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Huh, I know what the World of Warcraft ones are. I just didn't know StarCraft had those.
Yeah.
That's everything I ask.
Well, the funny thing about that is I post those up into that gaming forum on Facebook, so a couple people took those codes and downloaded it and everything. It gave them 7 hours of gameplay. That was it. 7 hours? I was like, really? It's like not like a 24-hour trial or anything like that? Like 7 hours. That's all they get. Like just enough to get them hooked, I guess. But yeah, and then it was just like it was basically.
Well, that's actually quite a bit of hours too. At the same time, I mean, I can see something like World of Warcraft not being that much time, but like if they give you 7 hours of
and it wasn't
StarCraft, fuck, you can play like half the game in that.
See, and it wasn't campaign; it was like skirmish. That was like the only thing you could do was skirmish.
Well, that makes sense.
Which is still cool. I mean, that's mainly if I'm gonna play StarCraft, that's usually what I do play is skirmish mode. But fuck ever trying to jump on an Asian server in that game, dude. You'll unless you've been playing for years and years and years, like you'll never win. I get dominated every fucking time I jump into an Asian server, dude.
My Asians,
yeah.
Asian server.
Well, it's crazy. Have you seen the emojis with StarCraft 2? Like $1 million first place prizes. Like $1 million just to beat everybody else at StarCraft. It's like what?
Everybody else is insanely good, probably. So it's a well-earned $1 million.
And over there, dude, I mean, $1 million US is probably what 3-4 million over there. That's crazy.
See, I remember like my first time ever playing games online was with Command and Conquer, and it was with Red Alert 2 was the big one.
Yeah.
Like we played like a copious amount. And this was like when Cisco moved to Hawaii. So it was like online gaming kind of came at the perfect time where it's like, fuck, we can play online and talk to each other. This is great. And so, but this was the time where you have to give each other a phone call and then like go fucking turn on the dial-up internet and get ready to log in. And then I'd also play with John Garcia too because he had it. And what we would do is you do these things where like you just drive your bases over into each other, so you just had this huge base. This is before a time when people really had the notion that like, hey, give your buddy a call and have him come show up. It was just everybody kind of jumped on alone. But one of the worst things too is if you started building all these nuclear power plants and for some reason your internet got cut off, the other guy's base would just explode. So like all this radiation would go all over you. You're like, the fuck? Because the downfall of dial-up is that was
your mom picks up the phone.
and then it cuts you off, so it kicks you out of the game, and then you just blow up.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Damn, that's harsh.
well, yeah, the harsh part was just like, all your troops go away because your friend's fucking nuclear power plant just like took everything, and then your whole base is all radiated. Those are such good times. I'm so bummed that you can't I wish that's the only enough of a lot of online games though is the fact that at some point the companies give up on their servers like Westwood.
Well, look what just happened with GameSpy, dude. GameSpy went down and so many games went offline. And a lot of people are starting up Kickstarters and Indiegogo campaigns to re-kickstart some of
Well,
those,
that's what I thought too. I'm like, is there a place I can go and look for like a red alert? I mean, there probably is. I just haven't found it. But I just know like the main Westwood one, you can't use that anymore. Yeah. It's like, oh, it was just such good times.
It was strange to see the original Halo because Halo was through GameSpy and that went down. And I think 343 resurrected it. Huh. Same thing with some of the older Battlefields.
I understand that there's some games. It's always kind of surprised me when people are like still playing some games really like hardcore. Like I remember like when I got really into playing like Gears of War like online and playing 2 and 3, and I was playing 3. I was like, I just go back and play 1 for a bit. And I was surprised. I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's still packed with people. It's just. You think that like the average Joe would just kind of keep progressing onto each game. And,
dude, it amazes me how many people are still playing the old Call of Duties.
Yeah, it's like you go on and they're full. And then then you find some games and you go on, you're like, oh, Medal of Honor Airborne. There's 7 people playing at the moment. Yep. And some games it's like the one thing that always kind of bothered me about like all the Xbox like arcade games is like almost nobody would ever play those ones.
Yeah.
You could download it like the first week and like. Yep.
And some of the achievements that are based off online multiplayer on arcade games are impossible. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, dude. The one goddamn achievement I can't get in that game is to win 10 ranked matches in a row.
Well, the only way you can do it is
never do.
You have to call a buddy because that's what I kind of learned. Like, I remember I gave John Bumgarner a call and I was like, dude, you want to come play some Contra Hardcore with me? Because like, there's nobody ever on that server. There's never anybody. And I was like, he has to have it. He loves Contra. He's my Contra buddy. Yep. So I gave him a call and we just played a bunch of that, and that was like the only way to play it. And like, remember when they made that Ninja Turtles remake of Turtles in Time? I played with one person the entire time. And I would go on there and I just let it sit for a bit and just see if anybody would come on.
Yep. Yep.
And, even Street Fighter too. Like I couldn't find anybody on like the regular version of it.
Really, that's strange.
Yeah, that was the weird one too. I was like, the fuck. I mean, this was just I was playing the original Street Fighter 2, not like that remake one.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see because I had a free download copy of that. Couldn't find anybody on there.
I got the Street Fighter 2, the HD remix or whatever.
Did you get that one?
Dude, that game was fun.
I want to get that one. I was like, well, it's like $15. Like Jesus Christ. I know it's totally worth it, but
how many times are you gonna buy that fucking game?
Well, you don't want to know how many times I own Street Fighter 2. I own Street Fighter 2. I own like 2 copies on Super Nintendo, 2 copies on Genesis of like just the different versions. I have it on Dreamcast. I have it on my 360. I have that PlayStation collection that's got a bunch of them on it.
Jesus.
Because they made this sweet, it was a Capcom collection on PS2. And they just had a bunch of badass, Capcom arcade games. I had, I think I had all 3 variations of Street Fighter 2. The Dreamcast version actually has, it's close to what you have.
Right.
Because in Japan because that was the one they made so many sweet versions in Japan that they actually released later on, as downloads for Xbox 360 and PS3, but they were actually all Dreamcast games.
Jeez. Shit. I've got 3 Resident Evil 3s. I don't have the one for GameCube, unfortunately.
I have the one for GameCube.
I wish I had the one for GameCube, dude.
I have the one for Dreamcast. I have the one
It's expensive now. Resident Evil 2 and 3 for GameCube are expensive now.
And those are the best versions of them. No, actually the Dreamcast version is just the same as the GameCube one, I want to say. Because the one thing I want to say on the PlayStation one, you can't skip the videos, right? I know on Resident Evil 2 you can't. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Where you can skip them on the GameCube version. And plus the graphics look a little bit better too.
Yeah, well,
they're sharper.
sharper, yeah.
I can honestly say I think the game I've bought in the most amount of times in my life is Grand Theft Auto 3 for one reason. One, because when that game came out, I was only like 12 or 13 years old. So we used to go down to, this is me and Timothy, we used to go down to Blockbuster. And Blockbuster would never fucking card you for whatever reason when we were kids. So we buy...
Well, when I was a kid, I used to buy mature rated games all the time. Nobody carded you. Nobody
So
gave a fuck.
I'd go out, I'd buy Grand Theft Auto, I'd bring it home, I'd play it for about 4 hours. My mom would come in, see me playing it, take the disc, snap it in half, throw it away. So the next day, I'd go back to Blockbuster. But I probably did that probably about 4 or 5 times. Like, granted, I still don't have, like, all my broken discs from today, you know? But, like, fuck, man, I bought that game so many times.
You must have hated it.
It's
game,
funny, you know why?
Metal Gear.
It's because people made such a big deal in the news, and it's kind of like, you almost have to sit somebody down and be like, let me tell you how Grand Theft Auto works. Technically, you're not a bad guy whatsoever unless you want to be a bad guy.
Exactly, dude. That's how I'd explain it. Like,
just like
my
real
parents
life.
never cared about what I played, but when my grandma asked about it, dude, I was like, I don't have to go out and kill prostitutes.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like, I can
because
just...
like they made such a big deal online. They're like, "Oh, the game's all about all you're doing is you're killing people for points." And I'm like, well, first of all, it's like, not points,
Yeah,
but
no
thank you,
points.
Mr. Fucking 1980s like arcade expert.
I know, dude.
You're killing hookers. You're doing all
The
this.
biggest thing was killing hookers, being able to fuck them
and killing cops.
beat them down.
And
with
killing
a baseball
cops,
bat.
and it's like, you know, it's like, you know, just like real life, that's a choice. Like Grand Theft Auto, because you think about it, like in general, your guy is trying to do the right thing. You know,
It's like, well, do you want me to do this on the video game, or would you rather me go out and do this in real life?
because you know,
Okay, so you pick or choose.
What's crazy about Grand Theft Auto, you can go that whole game without getting a wanted star. Like, and I mean,
That'd be
granted,
pretty fucking
there's story based.
because every once in a while you're like,
Well, yeah, you don't have a
but
choice.
Yeah.
you can go that whole fucking game. You can stop at every stoplight. You know, like,
well, it's not like
do
Driver,
every-
because Driver's that game where you had to be like precise. If you
Oh,
didn't stop
God.
at the stop sign, they
God.
fucking got you.
Oh,
if you
I know,
drove too
dude.
fast.
Did you ever do the cheat on Driver with the super springy suspension?
On Driver 1?
The original Driver?
I don't know if I ever did that.
Dude, this thing would, like, it pretty much raised your car, like, 5 feet off the ground, you know? So, like, when you'd go and you'd hit these little, like, bumps in the road and stuff, it would launch you so fucking high in the air. And just, like, you'd have, like, cops chasing after you and you just, like, hit a bridge or something. You just, fucking...
Did you play Driver 3 at all?
I never played Driver 3.
Driver 3 is fun, actually.
Is that the one where you can get out and
Yeah, it was
change
a little-
cars and
little
stuff? It was a
glitchy.
little weird,
Well,
dude.
Driver
Little
2, no,
glitchy.
Driver 2, you could get out and switch cars.
That's right. That's
I think
right.
Driver 3 was you didn't get out and switch cars. I think you like teleported.
That's
into
the
air.
fourth
Yeah.
one.
Okay, that was
They
the
don't. I
fourth
don't know if they call it 4, but like, yeah, that's the one. Because Driver 3
Whichever
was
the latest one was.
Driver 3 was the one that was really glitchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Actually, I played Driver 3 and I couldn't play Driver 3, but whichever the one was where you like teleport in the air,
Yeah.
and you got to switch
What
cars.
was the mode called in the first couple that you were just fucking running away from cops? Like, I can't remember.
Just like Outrun or something like that.
something like that, dude.
Like, well, the thing about Driver is like before Grand Theft Auto 3, like those games were so fucking awesome.
Dude.
Because it was like,
They
you
were
know, 'cause
amazing.
you had Grand Theft Auto 2, and you're like, Grand Theft Auto 2 is so sweet, but you know, you got your 2D
it's
up
still
view
overhead.
graphics, yeah. Where this one's like, man, it's the first time you're in, you know, yeah, you don't get a gun or anything, but you're like, yeah, it's like you're in a fucking world.
Yep.
And they made a bunch of other. There's like, have you ever played Interstate 76 for PC?
Nope.
See, it's like PC games. Like I haven't played any like modern ones, but I used to play a lot of them in the '90s.
Mhm.
You know, and like that was another game too, where it's just like it was kind of like those pre-Grand Theft Auto 3 games,
Yep.
and they were just like mind blowing. Then once Grand Theft Auto 3 came out, kind of made all those ones sort of obsolete. Like I can't imagine playing Driver 1 or 2 anymore.
Yeah.
Well, no, dude. After Grand Theft Auto came out, dude, all the games like.
Well,
that
I'll tell
just
you
kind
a
of-
perfect example in the today's like, pretty much like Watch Dogs. Like, I love that game. It's a lot of fun, but I expect Grand Theft Auto every single time I jump into a car, and it's not that whatsoever. Like, physics, everything is way
Even
fucking
though,
different.
like, this is pre-Grand Theft Auto 5, but I remember when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out and Assassin's Creed came out, I was just like, dude, Assassin's Creed did Grand Theft Auto like what Grand Theft Auto 4 should have been. Even though I know it's completely different, like,
Yeah.
era, but I remember, like, that felt like a step up, where Grand Theft Auto 4 to me always felt like a step backwards, especially after San Andreas. Because San Andreas, you know, you had,
Yeah.
I can fly planes, I can fly helicopters, I can buy shit, I can do all, I
really liked Grand Theft
They
Auto 4.
they
personally.
spent a huge budget on realism in that
Well,
game.
Grand Theft Auto 4, it's like, if you the missions,
Plus an obsolete
missions are good.
online.
but like if you
No,
want to like
PC.
go like dick around, kind of like, you know, like it's kind of like the second fun of Grand Theft Auto every once in a while is just to go run around and do stupid shit.
Mhm.
That game was kind of like it didn't have very much to do because
Yeah.
you just
No,
had
I
kind of
can agree
basic
with that.
cars. You couldn't upgrade your cars. You couldn't really buy clothes. Like it was like the coolest thing I found in that game was like, oh, my guy can wear a suit.
Yeah.
You couldn't buy businesses. That pissed me off because that was like my favorite part of Vice City and
Yeah.
San Andreas.
Dude,
There was a huge downstep.
Like
I
that
did really
really, like
enjoy
that
the
was to
story
me
of
as like
Grand
one of the
Theft
ones
Auto
like.
4,
You know,
I did,
a
dude.
huge part of that though. But at least like planes and helicopters. Well, I mean, you can fly helicopters, but planes in general. Planes pissed off a lot of people.
Well,
That wasn't.
yeah, it's like well, it's
But-
just like it felt like the game like. Grand Theft Auto 4 feels more like a sequel to 3 than it does as a sequel to Vice City and San Andreas.
Well, it should be.
Well, I mean, like, what I'm saying though is like, almost like if you never had a Vice City and San Andreas,
Yeah.
that's what Grand Theft 4 feels like.
What happened with that is that it was so close. You know, like 9/11 happened. You know, 2001 and all that, and. Like I don't know. I felt like they pushed the bar because they were initially going to have planes. I don't know if you remember some of the original trailers of Grand Theft Auto 4. They
Oh,
had
were they?
planes, and the media freaked the fuck out because it's supposed to be a replica city of New York City, and you're like, oh, you're gonna be able to
9/11
flash
happened. When
planes.
fucking Grand Theft Auto 4 came out in 2008.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Like 7 years later, but
Well, that's
it's
so
still
well, yeah, but they
freaking
have
out about
planes
that.
in fucking San Andreas. I know that's not New York, but
Well, that was a big thing. Is like they didn't want people crashing planes into towers.
well, remember they got pissed off. It was one of the flight simulators. They had to like change it around because you could take a plane and crash it into New York and do it. It's like Jesus. And then when I hear things like that too, it's like that fucked up another game too. It was a game for Dreamcast, I want to say, where it was a flight simulating game too. And like because you could crash a plane into a building, like they were like fuck. It was just like, what does that have to do with anything? Like you know the Arnold Schwarzenegger Collateral Damage. I don't think I ever told you this, but I read this in Arnold Schwarzenegger's book. There's a scene because you remember how that movie had to be delayed because of 9/11. There was a scene that they shot, filmed, finished, everything, where there's a part where like a plane gets hijacked and gets crashed into a building. So this humongous, big budget action scene, they had to cut it out. And I was like, and I told the guy that the Arnold fans guy, and he didn't even know about this. I was like, dude, like there's this fucking scene, like they gotta release that on fucking DVD someday.
Yep.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Dude, you know, that's not like an extra scene of like, you know, a couple characters talking and you're like, that's not that necessary. Dude, a humongous action scene that we
Dude,
didn't see.
I almost had that same fear for Olympus Has Fallen, dude, because I think we were going through like this shit with Korea right when Olympus Has Fallen.
Oh, yeah,
came
'cause
out, dude, I was surprised that they ended up being able to release the movie just because it's all Korea
It's
attacking
Koreans
the White House,
invasion.
and it's kind of a good blueprint to invade the fucking White House.
Well, I
for
mean,
Christ's sake.
Well, it's on the movie, but you're kind of like, man, the U.S. isn't prepared enough. This guy can come by in a fucking prop plane and just take shit out.
I know, like you send in a fucking aerial assault, then you send in your fucking ground troops, dude. I mean, fuck, it's almost textbook.
But going back to Assassin's Creed, 'cause I remember when number 2 came out, and then like the kind of expansions to that, I was like, dude, they did Grand Theft Auto exactly how I wanted number 4 to be. I can buy buildings, I can buy businesses, and I think it was in this Brotherhood, or was it 2 or Brotherhood that where you could buy like that? You had like your fucking little like villa, and you kept just upgrading it.
Two. No.
No, yeah, 2. Because I want to say Brotherhood was the one where you could buy just different shit in Rome.
I played the first one, then I played the third one.
You
I
missed
didn't
out.
play
Like,
any of the
that,
in-betweens.
the number 2 was really sweet.
Oh, I've played and beaten 2. I just don't remember.
The problem
that.
is, like, I didn't like the first one all that much because it was so fucking repetitive. It
And
felt like to
glitchy,
me,
too.
yeah, dude. So it's like I had a hard time getting into any ones after that, and then the third one.
Well,
came
because
out.
that happened to a lot of people too. A lot of
Got my
people
interest.
skip 2 because they're like, the first one just wasn't. And I remember telling people, I'm like, dude, pick up the second one. It fixes all those problems.
Oh yeah. The
Right.
story of Ezio is just like so much more interesting too. I
Yeah.
really like Ezio. But I didn't understand the whole backstory behind Desmond. You know, like the character that's actually going into the Animus to go.
But that's the only thing. I really think like from day 1 playing Assassin's Creed, I was like, that's fucking stupid. Like,
Yeah.
why? Why you have this great story? Why do you need the modern one? And I kind of like as those games progress, they've kind of gotten less and less because that first one had like way too much future shit. in
Well,
there.
it all starts.
And then the
did you
second
beat
one
3?
had a. No, not yet. I got about an hour and a half, 2 hours into it, and it's sitting in my stack.
It's rough, but the story of Desmond actually does get really good at the end of 3.
Well, I think what happened is another game came out and I bought it. I don't know what game that was, but like
That's exactly how it was with me too.
Something
dude. I was
else
like,
keeps- so-
well, this
so-
game's more exciting than the third Assassin's Creed.
Well, the only thing about Assassin's Creed 3 is I just keep thinking about, I'm like, one of the coolest things about Assassin's Creed is climbing up in the tallest building ever and fucking jumping off of it. I'm like, I'm in the U.S. The tallest building's like 4 stories.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that's a real building in the U.S. I think they just had to make the building like that much taller.
One thing they did do though with their
Like, the tallest thing you could do is you could climb on top of an Indian and jump off of him.
Mhm.
You know, it's like,
Well, moving around through the forest, I really liked all the tree play that they had in there, like jumping through trees, to get through the forest areas and stuff.
And I kind of like how like you can get like the muskets and stuff too, because like that's something I always think is kind of cool. It's like you gotta like it takes time to reload it and everything.
I honestly I don't really, yeah.
I like the concept of 3, and it's like I want to get into it. Like I haven't got to the part where he plays the Native American guy. I'm still the white guy.
Yeah, me too.
Because somebody told me like about 3 hours of gameplay to get to.
I was like, oh, you play as a Native
or whatever his name is.
Because I remember everybody told me they're like, oh, you play as a Native American. I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, I'm playing as a white guy. Like, what do you mean as a Native American? I must have got a different Assassin's Creed 3.
Because like I do intend on playing through it, but
yeah, I know I have it sitting there. It's one of those ones.
Shit, maybe we should hang out and just both play through it.
We'll pull 2 TVs up and we'll just Assassin's Creed it.
It's worth it to play through it once. I will say that. Like,
well, don't get me wrong, I love every Assassin's Creed game. I think they would have been smoother games if like the first one came out 2 years later, the second one came out 2 years later, the third one came out 2 years. And don't even. Even though I like
the game, it's a game easy. You can put 30, 40 hours into.
Well,
no problem.
They're too long to be like. If they were 8-hour long games, I don't think I'd mind them coming out.
So does the third one have to be so fucking boring in the beginning? Like, Jesus Christ.
A lot of backstory.
Well, there's always some games.
No, I know, but
it's the same. That's how I felt about goddamn Godzilla, dude. That exact thing.
It's a fucking movie. Okay, that's an hour and a half as opposed to a 40-hour fucking video game. All right.
Or did you ever beat Twilight Princess?
No, dude.
Twilight Princess was literally that game because a lot of people. They started it and they never beat it.
I really wanted.
And I used to always have this. I used to tell people like, you really almost have to put 10 hours into it before it starts getting really good. And it's like that's really hard to explain to somebody. Like, are you kidding me? I have to play.
Yeah. With Zelda, it's probably a little different.
Yeah, but that one takes a long time because at first it takes you like about a little over an hour before you're really getting to the part where you're like, okay, I finally have my sword, I'm ready to go. And then it's like the first 3 temples are just kind of rough because you have to be forced to play as the wolf a bunch. And you're like, fuck. But then once you get past those first 3 temples, then you can switch on and off, and it just makes it so much smoother. And the game is amazing.
I almost feel
a lot of people didn't get that far. They got 2 temples into it, and they got bored and stopped playing it.
I almost feel like I'd rather play through the GameCube version as opposed to the Wii version, just because.
I'll tell you this. I actually like the Wii version. I'll say the controls I actually think are better on Twilight Princess than Skyward Sword. Like Skyward Sword has a better like control of your sword, but the layout of the buttons I thought were like they're a lot smoother and like because on Skyward Sword I don't know what it is, you get this big like loop-de-loop thing where you gotta go back and forth between your items. Where I just thought it was really quick and easy because you had the quick select on the D-pad, and there was a lot of cool things on them. And maybe it was just because it was the first Wii game I ever had, but it was like when you did the fishing game, you throw the Wiimote out and then you can reel it in and everything.
That's just like press buttons, dude. I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's just
plus like the arrows. It was kind of nice having that steady aim and stuff.
Sometimes, dude, I don't know. I feel like sometimes that it's just really hard for me to use a sword or like arrows using the Wiimote just because like it's not responsive all the time, dude.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
It's like sometimes you don't attack when you should have attacked when you were trying to attack.
Well, in Skyward Sword, you like a lot of these things like they're all precision. Like you have to swing left to right or up and down.
Yeah,
like, it took me forever to figure that out. I was fucking sitting there beating
like,
why does this enemy take so many hits? And it's like, oh, you gotta slice his head in half right there, so it's like it pops off, and it's like, oh. And then one thing you gotta do is you gotta hold that Wiimote up in the air sometimes to charge it. And sometimes you're like fucking standing up, yelling, you like, fucking charge, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, other than like, that's why like whenever that game got like 10 out of 10, I'm like, I don't think that game's 10 out of 10 just because I think the controls like there is that kind of like. They're still really cool, but there's always those every once in a while it's just like not perfect enough.
See, that's almost the reason why I'd rather play it for the GameCube as opposed to the Wii, just because I know it's going to be more responsive because it's a fucking button.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's the only thing. It's like, don't get me wrong. It's like, sometimes there is really cool things.
I mean, I think the motion's great.
Like, when I played The Force Unleashed, they didn't have a copy for Xbox, and I was like, fuck, like, you got a copy for Wii, and I just took that one. So it was like, I read the reviews, it sounds like it's not that much different, except we get the controls. And a lot of people said the Wii version was better because of the controls, just including the graphics. And that one wasn't so bad, too, because, you like, when you force push, you just fucking, like, threw that nunchuck forward, and, like, everybody go flying and whatnot. And it had some cool stuff like that. But, yeah, it's always that toss-up. It's like, some motion controls can be kind of cool, but then there's always a point like, would you rather just have a controller?
Honestly, dude, so far between the Kinect and the Move and the Wii, dude, I haven't found one motion game that I really, really like.
Dude,
one I will say, Metroid Prime, like 3, that almost like works a little bit smoother than the joystick.
VR, okay, cool. Talk to me when it happens, okay?
It's happening, dude.
Well, it's happening.
You can actually buy one right now if you want to spend a big chunk of change.
When I can put on a pair of goggles and immerse myself into a Resident Evil world, okay, then I'll say virtual reality is happening. Okay. When I get to hook up electrical sensors so that when I get bit by a zombie, I get a little bit of a shock there. Okay, I'll say it's happening. Okay, that is virtual reality. All right. But I mean, yeah, they're taking steps towards it, of course, that I realize.
No, the more and more I'm seeing on it, because now they're adding like gloves and everything.
It's so cool, but it looks like a rich man's video game though. It's like
exactly.
I don't know how they're gonna make it.
Once they put virtual reality, to where I can afford it PS3 style and PS4 style, dude, then I'll fucking
But it does look bad. It's one of the ones like I would love to try it out. Though.
Dude,
I want to play Minecraft. Like I want to play Minecraft with a VR headset so bad, dude. Just being able to have your controller in your hands, move around, play the game like you're normally going to, but to be able to move your head in any direction and see,
I think there's the simple VR of like...
Period.
Of just...
like, I don't care if it's with headset or not, I just want to play Minecraft.
I think the simple VR of just where you put like the goggles on, and then you just have a controller in your hands, like nothing's... the other stuff's cool, like where you're
that'd be awesome,
on an omnidirectional treadmill and all that stuff.
Sick.
That just might feel like fall, like, oh! Just all wrapped up in wires.
Okay. Imagine you got the VR headset. You got the let's just put into perspective Call of Duty or Battlefield. Say we're playing that with a VR headset. You got the Omni pad to where you actually have to run, you have to crouch, you have to jump, you got to do all this shit. Can you imagine how in shape gamers are gonna be? Like, you know how much fun it would be to go to an esports event where you actually have 8-on-8, guys like all strapped up with all that shit and actually like running around, and you have like all these big screens above it, like actually
dangerous.
Playing. Well, dude,
sounds like a fucking
running on a treadmill, like when you can see, you almost feel like you always want to have your hands ready to hold on just in case you fall. Like, how are you supposed to hold on to a controller fucking running on a treadmill? And you can't see if you fall. It's just like, oh fuck, where am I going?
Well, it's not. Have you seen the Omni?
I've seen it, but I've never really seen it in action.
Imagine a bowl. Okay, so you got like this circular like bowl type thing. You're wearing these
Do you have,
special
like, a harness
shoes.
That holds you up so you can't...
dude, it locks you in around your waist.
Okay. It's so, not just like they're freely letting
you have like a bowl here, and then you got these like 3 like tripod legs that come up, and there's another smaller circle that you sit in. It locks around your waist, so you can't tip, you can't fall forward.
Wait, you sit in it?
No, you stand in it.
Oh, okay. I don't understand the running part.
And then you get these special shoes on that have like these little sensors on them that as you're moving, as you're turning and everything, like it'll recognize all that. So you can crouch. There's sensors in the waist thing that like tell if you're crouching, if you're jumping, if you're like grabbing, stuff like that.
You can buy one of those and go play Half-Life 2 with it. I know that. So that's pretty badass.
But, can you imagine seeing a buff guy walking down the street and just thinking to yourself, like, damn, that guy must be a gamer.
I don't know if you'd be buff. You would probably be really skinny because to be buff, you'd have to have like fucking
cardio.
To make it like make it even more difficult, you'd have to hold a real big gun that weighed like 80 pounds the whole time.
Dude, Call of Duty, I'm really erratic with my movements, so I feel like if I had like a goggle and I had to turn my head, dude, I'd fucking whack my face into walls all the time and shit like that, dude.
Playing in an open area.
I still just think that like just the fact of just putting on like
they'll perfect it
goggles, and then just having to like really in a sense just your right joystick is almost like your look around.
That'd be awesome.
That's all it is, like don't get me wrong, like it'd be cool to have everything else, but that just the simple I think goggle style would be badass. Yeah. Like they sell these TVs that I've always thought would be badass to get. I see them in like photo magazines and whatnot. They're just those goggle ones, and you plug in your fucking video game systems to it, and they say it's equivalent of a 70-inch screen. Mm-hmm. But like, how badass would that? Just like kick back, put on your goggles, put some Resident Evil on. I don't know if that's probably the smartest idea to start off with.
Even if it's not shock, dude, where you get bit, dude. If they just put pressure where you're being bit at or attacked in the game, like my brother has that Call of Duty vest, dude, that you can hook up to a computer and where you get shot at, dude. If the bag of air fills up, dude, and puts pressure on that spot, dude. I mean, it's pretty cool, but.
Really, where it comes to VR for me, what I really want to play is any horror game, first-person horror game, Outlast, dude. Having a goggle set on and playing that, dude, and be able to look around and shit. Like, dude,
I'm scared enough playing with a controller on a TV, dude. Like, I can imagine being immersed into that fucking game, dude. But I don't know, dude. Like Resident Evil would be scary. Turn around and see Nemesis running at you.
Badass.
I'd scream a lot, dude.
I still just like to buy those, like, as I said, that TV set thing. That thing's always interested me. But they cost about $200-$300, which isn't that expensive, but kind of expensive for a personal TV. Mm-hmm. Because, it'd just be badass because you plug anything into it.
Yeah.
And then just... play your game, watch your movies. You can just sit back and relax. You take it with you too. It'd be a great portable thing.
I'd like to be able to play Payday with like voice recognition and virtual reality shit, dude. Could yell at the fucking bank customers my fucking self, dude.
Put it on the ground. And so I don't know if in the future, the thing that would be probably the more precise way to bring virtual reality kind of things to in-home is almost to have more motion sensors a red that you just set up in your house, take the kinetic thing to the next level.
That's almost what I'm saying, dude, I
where
want
it's got
virtual reality where you hook yourself up to, it's
they
Lawnmower Man style.
Exactly, it's exactly what I'm thinking about when I say that.
That movie, some people say that movie doesn't hold up. Yeah, fucking right. I mean, you just got to kind of look at the graphics for the times, but that movie's so
it's
good.
almost
You ever
like
seen that movie before, Cameron? Mm-mm. Oh
dude,
my
you gotta
god,
watch it.
it's amazing. It's got Pierce Brosnan in it too. Toss it up.
Almost like how they hook you up to, ECGs in the hospital, dude. Yeah. It's just just hook yourself up with these pads, dude, fucking on your legs and shit like that. And you're good to fucking
have
go.
You seen I saw a modder take he has a PS3, he's got 3 Kinect sensors that he hooks up to this, and this is all modded, obviously. And then he's got the Wiimote that he plays Call of Duty Black Ops on with Oculus. And
that's pretty badass.
It's the most it's the most ghetto looking setup ever, but it all works, he can actually have Oculus on, have the whole motion sensors to where he's playing a modded version of Black Ops and being able to move his arms and stuff, and that's what he's seeing in the actual game world. Holding the Wiimote in one of those Wii gun type things,
so you get the rifle,
and and he has his little stick that he gets to move his character and shit, and he gets to go up to a fucking wall and actually peek around the corner, and aim out and shoot and stuff, dude. It looks so fucking cool, but how much are you willing to go to get that, on your own?
I know, it's just if somebody made kind of a professional version of that, it feels like that'd be a $500 setup, if not more.
No problem. It was that thing I told you about when I had that $250 controller for Chrome Hounds that was made specifically for Chrome Hounds.
But it gave you
that's
a real
ridiculous.
Experience.
But holy shit, dude! You got to actually sit down. You got 2 joysticks. You got every button you could ever fucking possibly imagine. You just dominated online compared to a controller, dude. Anybody playing on a controller, you just destroy just because you have so much more maneuverability and actual, like I said, buttons to fire missiles and shit, and switches and all kinds of shit.
Well, I remember you remember the Sidewinder joystick that came out for PC in 98 or 97 or something. I remember that thing just being mind blowing. It was just oh my god, you took that with Flight Simulator and you just had such precise controls. It's just something small like that. I still have mine. I can pull it out anytime I want. It's actually still a pretty sweet controller.
Yeah.
But just things like that. Just again that extra level of control.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's I'm actually looking really forward to that. I just feel like that's something. It's still it's kind of hopefully they keep saying it's supposed to come out pretty soon, for a consumer market. I mean, I know you can get all the prototypes and whatnot if you go to the right sites, but I think that will be the next level though, because really I've been saying that since virtual reality was kind of popular.
I'd say
in the 90s.
10 years before virtual reality really starts making a fucking jump.
Yeah,
a little less actually.
It might,
I'm thinking honestly by the next gen.
Yeah, I was just about to say I think that's when it will.
I think 5's a little bit too little, but I'm thinking 7 or 8 is more realistic for them to really get it down and really work out not all the kinks but a lot of them.
Oculus is already pushing the boundaries of that. Plus they're making companies such as Mad Catz, Sony, I think Steam,
Sony's
being
making
Valve.
their own little thing too. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. VR's being pushed hard right now, so I wouldn't doubt if you start seeing these become consumer.
Pretty much
3 to 5 years.
By the next generation of systems, I'm thinking.
Yeah, you'll probably
we'll be thinking about we'll be oh, I need to get the new virtual reality system as opposed to.
See, and that's
well,
that
PS5 and then the PS5 might be something it just comes with virtual reality. That's
exactly
just how it is.
See, I don't know if there's going to be a next console. I really don't. I mean, for how hard...
if VR gets pushed, dude, then there won't be.
What, you think that PS2 commercial lied to us when they said PlayStation 9?
There might be, how you're saying, it's PlayStation 3 might come out with VR.
It might just be you get your unit, you get, let's just say, your controller, and then you get your headset, and that's the setup.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's
the
basic PS
And then
PS5
what they might do too is it might get to a point where, because people are so tech savvy nowadays, in an older market you almost kind of had to if it didn't all come in one package, it was confusing to people. But I think we live in an age now where people understand that okay, so you get this basic package, then you can go out and buy extra hardware that makes the experience even better. You can buy yourself your treadmill, you can buy yourself, extra
Well, this
sensors.
is where we need to dip back into Steam machines. The reason why I say that I don't know if there's going to be next consoles is because of the not Steam Machine on its own. It's just being a PC gamer right now. It's like my computer is good enough, for games, but technology is moving so fast that these consoles, unless you can change out hardware pieces like Steam machines, you're not going to be able to keep up with technology. So
I do agree that like the Steam Machine, and I actually think that Alienware one that I read on, that one seemed like that just felt like, one, it felt like Alienware fucking pulled out like the carpet underneath Steam. Oh yeah, by the way, we got this fucking unit. And to me, I looked at that thing, I was like, that seems like the perfect one. They were smart. It's like, what's your controller? It's a fucking Xbox controller. You know what I mean? Like, well, that's what it is. You know what I mean? Not this weird like touchy pad.
Where Steam is smart is that they're not releasing hardware other than their controller and their software, which is SteamOS. They pretty much outsourced all the hardware building components for actual Steam machines. There's like fucking 40 different companies that are building Steam machines.
That's the other thing. Like the only thing about the Steam thing is like it just feels like one of those ones like. I know that like it seems like their target audience is people that aren't that savvy enough to buy a regular PC and mess around with it. But it almost feels like it's still too complicated for an average Joe. It's like it's in this like limbo state where it's just like, where like somebody who kind of knew PCs and all stuff be like, well, why don't I just get a regular PC and then I can.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, and then it's like then I can fucking type documents and run video programs and so on. Like, yeah. And then like I feel for the average Joe, it's like that sounds way too complicated. Why don't I just get a fucking PlayStation or an Xbox? Jesus Christ, like. Yeah. And I feel it's just in that weird, like, 12 years ago or whatever, when they first announced that, even longer than that, because it was, like, very early 2000s, because my concept was like, oh, you can play Red Alert 2 on it. Mm-hmm. When they first had that idea that, like, it was just a box, and you just plugged in just PC games, and I was like, well, that's smart. You can play them on your TV, because this was a time where, like, you had to have your fucking monitor and all that stuff, so. Yep. And that never came out.
See, what I like about consoles, dude, is, like, I buy a PS3 and I'm good until the next console comes out, pretty much. Console-wise, at least.
And it's like, and I think like something like the Alienware one seemed a little bit more like, I don't know, that one just came across as a more smoother design. Like, it just seemed like you could play any of your PCs, and it seemed like it kind of still had PC as design, but it was more just a PC formatted more to be a console.
Well, like, that's what SteamOS is.
But then I run off Linux and all that stuff too, so it's a little bit more.
Yeah, but you don't have anything. I have SteamOS on my PC, like as a backup, like on a different hard drive. SteamOS runs just like a user interface does on Xbox or PlayStation.
Because I've never used Steam. Steam's something I just read about, and I just wonder what it is more than anything else. I read about this.
Is that what we use when we play Steam at your house?
See, we're using Windows Steam on that.
Yeah.
But no, the SteamOS, like pretty much Steam's just really pushing to get PCs into the big screens in your living room, essentially is what they have. Right now they have this thing called big screen mode or something like that. I can't remember, but anyways, it's like this little button thing up on the corner that you can hit, and it pretty much turns your PC into a console, and like you can sit there with your controller and fucking sit back and play on your giant screen, and you have like this whole user interface that's way different than Windows.
Yeah, and it's just, I feel like it's just sort of like everything's kind of, because before, you had to have a monitor, so that's why it didn't like format so well the TV, so back 14 years ago, it made total sense to have something like that. Right. Or nowadays, just seems like, well, one, most computers have HDMI cables on them anyways, and a lot of TVs still have VGA cables, so it's just like, it just to me, I just feel like, why don't you just use your PC? It just, I just feel it's too complicated for somebody who doesn't know anything about PCs to like go out and get.
And the other thing that's gonna be weird is that it's all gonna be digital. I don't think you'll ever see a Steam game that's physical.
No, it's not physical. Well, I think that. I want to say Alienware one still could use physical CDs. I could be wrong.
If it has a disc drive in it. I don't know if it does have a disc drive.
I'm just one of those people like I don't like the concept of only being like one that idea.
I know exactly. I want the option. I want to have my collection, or I can have my digital copy.
Like I really wish. The one thing that kind of bothered me with a lot of like 360 and PS3 is I was really bummed that a lot of games stopped becoming exclusive.
Really?
Like I like when Resident Evil was generally just on PlayStation, and maybe later on, you got the N64 version.
It was better that way.
And you got, Dreamcast kind of had its own thing, but here's the thing: is like Code Veronica was pretty exclusive for a long time. I mean, when games get older, I don't mind if they come out and whatever. But like when games are like coming out, like I don't know. I think Resident Evil 5 and 6, they should have just been like one system. It should have just been on PlayStation.
Dude, games aren't even really. Well, I mean, something.
I will say that Resident Evil does feel weird playing on Xbox. That does just seem so strange.
Oh my god, RJ! Remember how we had retarded amount of trouble trying to log into my goddamn Xbox Live account?
Yeah.
I finally did
Are you
it.
talking about when we were doing the emails and all that shit? That was horrible.
Dude, Microsoft is they're such a pain in the ass, dude.
Fuck
Because
those bastards.
you have to.
No,
I've
you have to
actually had
sign
great
in-
experience always getting through with Microsoft.
Well, whatever they did on this new update, you have to try to log into your account, and then it says, okay, you must be this person, so I'm going to send you an email to this email address to verify it. So you go and you hit that verification link, verifies on your Xbox, and it's like, oh wait, now I need a second line of verification. So I go, okay, here's my cell phone, text me a code. And then after it's text me the code, I like punch that in, and it goes, well, you can't use that phone because it's already been registered, so you got to use some other phone. I'm like, motherfucker. So eventually I had to go and start up a whole new Gmail account the other day just to log into my fucking Xbox Live, dude.
What a pain,
so
dude.
mad. For about 45 minutes of just, fuck. You know, like, just
Fuck
dying.
that, dude. I would have given up. I don't know, dude. It amazes me how much me and Spencer are into Xbox and like enjoy Microsoft and Halo now, dude. Because for real, dude, like 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, dude, we were violently against Microsoft and Halo.
A lot of people were. A lot of people really were. I'll never forget my first Xbox. Oh, man.
I just think
2005.
We get your Xbox. Yeah, I bought my Xbox like after Xbox 360 came out.
You know, dude, you know what one of my favorite games on Xbox was that Lord of the Rings: The Third Age, that turn-based RPG Lord of the Rings game. I don't know if you ever
I
played
never
it.
played that one. What
Dude,
was that
that
one
was
again?
so fucking badass, dude. Me and my brother.
But it's like the Lord of the Rings games. I think it was like they had the Two Towers one and like the
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of hack and slash
movie-based
ones, and
ones.
then the Return of the King one. Those
No,
were
dude, the
sweet.
Third Age was a turn-based RPG.
But I just think there should be more exclusives. Like I think almost everything should be sort of exclusive. Like
I don't know, dude.
like,
Nothing's really
you know,
exclusive now. It's just more like, oh yeah, this game comes out 2 years earlier on this system,
It's-
but we're gonna release it on this system later.
No,
basically,
what's
is
really
how
getting
most
to me,
exclusives work now.
a lot of things I've been seeing at E3 is games that are exclusive, quote unquote, to Microsoft or PlayStation, whatever. But all it is like you get DLC 24 hours before everybody else. It's like, does that day really make that big of a difference? Like,
the only thing that make a difference to is the guy who owns all the systems. But I'm still a big believer that like, yeah, if you want everything, you should own them all. Like,
Yeah.
fucking Pokemon style.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get all the Pokemon just by having fucking blue. You gotta have red too.
Yeah,
You know,
but it's like-
and that's how I mean, I know it's a money thing, but I think I would own a PS3 by now if they had more exclusives going on. But since like that almost is like a turn off to buying the other systems because I'm like,
really, it's
90% of the games, like I mean, as I said, like I'm glad that Metal Gear Solid 4 is exclusive. Since there's not that many exclusive games, I almost kind of wish it was on like 360 just because it's just like, man, that's like one of the only
there's
games I'm buying it
no-
for.
What's crazy about Metal Gear Solid 4? No possible way that
No, it's
360
just-
control or console can handle that game.
You'd have to have like 4 discs probably
Yeah.
or something like that.
Probably like 6 discs.
Yeah.
Dude, that game is fucking huge. The amount of particles for a 2008 game, I can still pop that into my TV now. You know,
It's
and this like
mind-blowing.
new 60, dude, and it still is
Fucking
like
beautiful.
holy shit. And then I popped in Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, like I was playing that yesterday, and I was just like even more blown away. I'm just
Yeah.
like, how is this gonna get any better? And this is last gen. You know,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what that shit looks like.
Yeah,
on
I'd love to
PS4.
see what Ground Zeroes looks like on a Xbox One or PS4. You know, because it was kind of like. Almost like my 360 version was kind of like it was almost like a demo of like what you could have if you had Xbox
Yeah.
One because I was like, there's no game.
Really, the worst thing that I saw in that was draw distance. Shit popped in, like, when you got about 15 feet away from, like, say, a plant or whatever, like, it would either pop in or pop out, depending on if you're going away from it or towards it.
Yeah, and I think that was sort of due to just the limits of like the old consoles.
It's the processing power.
But like, yeah, it's just one of those ones. But that's one thing about Nintendo. Nintendo's filled with exclusives, and that's one thing about the Wii. Like not the Wii U, but the regular Wii is like there's more exclusive games for that than there is for 360 and PS3.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
just got to look at your first party developers for Microsoft, for PlayStation, or for Nintendo, and
And the downfall is that I always felt like PlayStation doesn't have enough. I always was like,
I mean, what
Just
do you
search it
got?
up.
You have Naughty
you know,
Dog.
like PlayStation started off making all their own games, you know, because they made like back in like for Sega and stuff. They had Hook, and they made that kind of like that okay Bram Stoker's Dracula game. The one for Super Nintendo is actually really cool, but like the one for Sega CD kind of sucked. They made what are some of those other Sony games that they made back in the day? Well, like it was like
Dude, the only 2 games that I really wish that I could get on PS3 that are on 360, well, not PS3, well, Dead Rising 3. Well, obviously it's not PS3, it'll be PS4, but and Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead 2's on PS3 though?
No.
No.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
No.
No, dude. No, there's no Left 4
Left
Dead.
4 Dead.
There's
Like,
no
I
Left 4
was
Dead
kinda
for
surprised.
That's
PS3.
strange.
Because that
It's
seems
only
like a
Xbox.
weird title not to be like both. But you know, it's just one of those ones like I kind of like that. I wish there was just more games. You know, as I said, I think Japanese games should just come out on PlayStation. That just seems right.
Yeah.
Resident Evil, Castlevania, Metal Gear Solid. They should all just be PlayStation.
Capcom. Just stick with you.
Yeah, it's like it just seems so, I will say it just and I almost feel like all the American games should just be on Xbox. Like that's just sort of how it should be. Like maybe I got this like 1985 like Russia versus like US look.
Like I was saying yesterday, dude. It's ironic that like
Because
the Ninja Gaiden for 360, which is the American system, is the bloodier, better one,
Yeah.
whereas the one for the Japanese system is the not so good one, in my opinion. So,
even first-person shooters a lot of times seem kind of strange on PlayStation. I don't know why. Just to me, like I will say, like a Call of Duty and stuff, they all feel more like an Xbox type game because I guess they're PC games first and foremost. I'm not really saying there's anything wrong with them being on there, and I think those are games that are fine coming out for both. And sports titles, I think obviously should come out for both. That'd be fucking weird if they didn't.
Really, for me, PlayStation is sports, third-person shooters. My sneaking games, Metal Gear Solid, Splinter Cell, all those types of games. Really, the only reason why I love Xbox so much is for FPS games. I love
Splinter Cell used to be exclusive of Microsoft too, and they came out like a year later for the other systems. And like Splinter Cell just always felt like that's such an Xbox type game. I'm like that should be exclusive for that,
Yep.
I don't know because Xbox always just feels like the American style games, war games, military, police games.
I had a hard time switching over playing any of the Grand Theft Autos on.
In Grand Theft Auto, I felt like that should have been PlayStation only too. That
just
it
fits with the
just sounds like
PlayStation
Grand Theft Autos would be weird on Xbox, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
It just
I know
seems
that's
like
an American company, but just like it just feels like a PlayStation game. That's how I've always.
Well, it's
played it.
always been like that.
Yeah.
really,
I mean, I
so.
played and beat and
I don't
played
think I've
multiple
ever even played
hours
Grand Theft Auto
of
for Xbox.
Grand Theft Auto 4, but I have that on 360. And
Yeah.
that worked
Oh,
well.
yeah,
That's
dude.
fine, but
I
that's
did-
because all my friends had it on 360 too.
I did fucking play Grand Theft Auto 4 on Xbox, dude. And there was something wrong with our goddamn Grand Theft Auto 4 for 360. We couldn't get past a certain point in the game.
Huh.
Dude, it would freeze every fucking time, dude. Every fucking time, dude. It fucking made me so
That's the
mad.
worst.
And then I go and get it for PS3 and I can play through the whole game, no problem.
It's just well, I just wish there was more exclusives, and I think that
No, I
kind of
agree.
almost keeps you from buying
PS3's
both consoles.
exclusives kind of suck, dude. I mean, like, God of War is
Well,
fucking amazing, don't get me
It's
wrong.
like Metal Gear Solid. That's
But
always been my number one thing.
Killzone is a really fucking weak exclusive to be on PS3, dude. If you ask me, I really don't like the Killzone games, dude. Like they're not that
They're
fun.
rough.
They're more frustrating than they are.
They're
fun.
always the we wish we were Halo games.
Yeah,
Like, that's
dude,
how they
exactly.
always remind me of, like, and it's kind of like for the longest time. The main reason I watched this PS3 my whole time, and I was just like,
Like Resistance.
till the end,
wasn't
it was
that
like-
great, really.
yeah, I mean they're okay, but you compare them to Halo and Gears of War, and they're nothing. They're just. I mean, if I got a PS3, I'd probably get the Resistance games just to have
Dude, but
another co-op shooter. 'cause
honestly,
at least it is
in-
split screen.
In
but-
my opinion, some of the PS3 exclusives are better than all the Xbox exclusives. Like The Last of Us, dude. It's one of the best games I've ever played.
Well, like it's like towards
in
the
my
end, is
existence
Last
in
of Us
life.
and Metal Gear 4 are like those are the two games that really sell it to me.
The
Like,
only
oh my
reason
God,
why I
dude,
bought a
the-
PS3 again for my second time was to play Metal Gear Solid 4 because I missed that game so damn much.
Dude,
well, that was the main reason. Like that was for the longest time. I said that for years. Like I was like, the only reason I'm going to buy a PS3 is I'm going to spend $300+ just to play Metal Gear Solid. It was kind of hard just to go like, is that all I'm going to play? Because it's like I have a 360, so 90% of the games I can get.
That game, dude, I will play that game over and over and over. All those, that whole series.
Dude, The Last of Us is such a good fucking
Yeah,
game, too.
Naughty
dude.
Dog.
Oh
I mean,
my
Naughty Dog being a
fucking
first-party
God,
developer for PlayStation,
And I haven't played it.
that's something they
The
have
last
done
Naughty
with
Dog
it.
game I played was Crash Bandicoot 3.
Dude,
Really?
The Last
I
of
never
Us
played
was
Jack and
probably
Dexter.
the
I
last
never
game I
played.
played that, like, dude, I couldn't fucking put it down, dude. Every minute of free time I had was playing that fucking game, dude.
I'm actually going back through and playing it. I'm part of it now.
Did you get any of the DLC at all?
No.
They say it's really good. I read
Yeah,
the
I heard
reviews
all the
on it.
DLC
Yeah.
is fucking awesome, but dude,
Yeah, it's
that
like
game is fucking amazing.
I still
dude.
feel like I'll probably go out and get a PS3 just so I can catch up on Metal Gear. That's one of those like I'm just gonna say fuck it, bite the bullet. I'll probably go get a used one. How much of this do you think they sell at GameStop? Because I'd rather go to GameStop. At least I can look at it. Because
Under 200.
I'd say
at
like
least.
170.
Yeah.
I was looking at
180.
Amazon, but the only thing, I hate buying things off Amazon compared to eBay. Because like when you buy some things like that used, it's just like your descriptions like they don't tell you like, oh, it's good. Comes with game.
Mint.
Box, yeah. And you're like, and you go on eBay and the guy's like, he's got like 16 pictures of it, like from all angles, real, so you can tell. He's got a good description of it. It's got a lot of info, and it's just like that's nice. But Amazon, when like you buy things used there, it's like, what the fuck? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm almost like, should I just spend the extra $100 and get it brand new? But then again, that's an extra $100.
Did you see the sorry to break conversation here? Destiny, Bungie's new game. Did you see the console that they're releasing with that? The white PS4.
No, I didn't see
Dude,
that.
I think I'm gonna buy that. I want.
Destiny looks
Black
sweet.
PS4 looks sweet,
one thing-
but the white
white
one, dude,
PS4?
looks fucking.
I haven't seen this
sick.
about Destiny though. Do you have to play Destiny online the whole time?
That I don't know. I still don't know enough about that
They're
game.
being very
but
cryptic.
Well, that's my thing. Because I was like, I'm always so iffy about that. It was kind of like when Titanfall came out. I kept trying to ask that online, and nobody fucking answered that question. Like,
No, it's
can you play Titanfall offline?
Titanfall's only online.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, so I was like, because first I was gonna rent it off GameFly and just go like.
They do have a campaign, but it's like
an online
training.
campaign,
It's terrible. Like I played
It's
it.
like,
and it's
oh
not
yeah,
bad.
here's a 2-mission campaign to get you ready for the online.
But
Just so you understand
the
what
online multiplayer, dude, holy shit.
For
That
Titanfall?
game- dude, that game
Dude, I
is
heard it's fucking
sweet.
amazing, dude.
That game's hella fun.
I
Because
really
you
want
can
to
get it for 360, and I was like, and they said it's like, it's not nearly as good as the other one, but it's not bad.
I need to get it, dude.
But
Can you get it for PS3
speaking of Destiny,
No, because it's an Xbox game, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm going to, like I had mentioned before, here in like 2 weeks, I'm going down to Austin to go to RTX, and Bungie is going to be there. So I will probably have a lot more to talk about Destiny, like once I actually go see their conventions and all that.
That's gonna be sweet going down there.
I mean, I get to see 343 Industries, which is the current makers of Halo,
Yeah.
Bungie, which is the ex-makers of Halo. Game Grumps are going to be there.
Oh, nice. Ego Raptor.
You know,
like
and
Kevin
then
Crawford.
you get Rooster Teeth, you get Achievement Hunter, you get the Slow Mo guys. There's a whole bunch more, dude. I just can't think of what the hell they are right now, but.
I wish I got invited to that. Not
That
like
shit-
with you, but I mean like as a like internet company.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'll have a lot more to talk about here in a couple weeks when I get back. Like I said, I'm sure I'll see at the very least the Master Chief Collection. I'm sure that 343 will be showing that off. Maybe
Master
Halo
Chief Collection,
5.
that's really like the only thing that like fucking Xbox has this whole time year. Like what else is coming out? Nothing.
Nothing exclusive. I
I don't
mean,
think it's just like that's the only downfall. Is that they just
the new Dragon Age game looks fucking sweet though.
I haven't played any
BioWare.
of those ones yet.
Oh man, dude, I just love BioWare games. You know, they're another ones that's just super time investive. You know, like, but
They made a badass Sonic the Hedgehog.
The
game.
Witcher. Did you see The Witcher 3? Dude,
It looks really
that's another
fucking
game
good.
that looks fucking amazing.
Dude,
See, a lot of these games, there's a lot of these titles like it's just like I see them and I look at it for a second and I go, oh okay, and then I kind of bypass them like, oh Star Fox, ooh, Zelda.
Honestly, dude, one of the games I'm looking forward to the most is Red Dead 2. Like seriously.
They
Yeah,
announce
I
it?
can't. No,
No.
not really. I just can't stop thinking
How
about it.
did I not
regardless.
hear about this?
I was like, yeah, I heard like the tidbits of that like pre E3, but
I just really hope it's really good.
I want to see what Grand Theft Auto is going to look like
the new
on
version.
next gen and PC. I just want to see the texture difference.
Probably almost the same.
Oh, I imagine it'll be about the same, but I want to see the texture differences and I want to see draw distances because the PS3 version was good. Don't get me wrong, for what it is, it was great. But I want to push the limit on my PC on that game really bad because Grand Theft Auto 4 on PC, there's so much moddable shit you can do to it that made that game just so much more fun, you know. And like, I cannot wait to see what they do with this game, you know, on these engines. So we'll see. I mean, I'll definitely be picking it up on PC in September or whenever it comes out later this fall.
Nice.
So
I should pick that one up at some point.
yeah,
Like that'd be something if I got a Xbox One. I guess that's something you could get.
it's a great game that you can just pick up at any point and just start playing. You know, like whether you're doing actual story missions or you're doing side missions
Play
or
Grand
whatever.
Theft Auto 5, dude. It's seriously fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And well, now I'm at this point like, should I just wait till I get an Xbox One? Because I didn't get it for Xbox 360.
Don't wait, dude. Like if you can get it now, get it now.
Might as well go get it.
Dude, it's fucking great.
I know
like,
it's Grand Theft Auto.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
get it for PS4.
It was so weird. Like
regardless,
I was
but,
so
mean,
surprised that game kind of came
I
out. I
wouldn't
was like,
wait.
I remember I said the same thing to Cisco. I'm like, I don't know why we didn't get it. It was just like it kind of almost like it kind of came out, but for some reason it felt kind of almost like it was like not real. I don't know. It just like sort of came out and bypassed,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know why. Because for how much we loved
had a-
Red Dead Redemption,
I think they had $1 billion the first 24 hours of sales. Like
Of Grand Theft Auto?
That's
yeah, it was fucking
retarded,
ridiculous, dude.
That's retarded. And
Dude,
then
there were so many people
that
that
Mario
midnight
Kart
release up
sold
here,
like
dude.
oh yeah,
ton of those too.
Dude,
Yeah.
they had to
that
split us
pushed
up
that
in, like,
pushed Wii U
fucking-
consoles.
Well, a lot of people
Majorly.
online are going like, dude, this is fucking year of the Wii.
Dude.
Like after E3, they were like, dude, the Wii U's coming back with a vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're Nintendo even said like I read an article a while ago they're working on their new system and like they're always kind of like, well, duh. Even Microsoft and Sony's working on their new system too.
Yeah.
I just think Nintendo's going to try to jump the gun and try to get it out. What they said is like, we want to make sure everybody who has a Wii U is totally satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of like, I'll say this with system, as long as the system has 10 really good games, that's all I need.
Yeah.
Some people out there, like, they just feel like if they don't have like 50 really good games, they're not satisfied. It's just kind of like, how much did you pay for that system? It's like, you only paid a couple $100. Like, that's really, this day and age, a couple $100 is nothing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? As I said, like, in Nintendo, I'd say they're about halfway there. Like,
Yeah.
I've already played about 5 really good games for
I
Wii
want
U.
to see Nintendo push the bar with their next console, though. I want to see them
The thing
actually.
they always say
Dude, I
is
want to
say-
see them step back into the console race. But
Well,
I mean,
I want to
it
see
won't
them
happen, I
push
think, but
better hardware. Granted, I mean, price points are going to go up. It's
Yeah.
part of it. But if
And I know Nintendo
Microsoft
always says
and-
they always say they have. It's like they just don't have the power to compete with like Microsoft and Sony.
They
at the
could,
moment.
though, dude.
But I
They
feel like it's
could.
like one of those ones like I don't know what the
I feel like they're selling themselves short, dude.
You
Like
know-
they're not giving themselves enough credit almost.
but
Yeah, 'cause I
here's-
feel it's like,
here's
oh,
the
you're
cool.
It's like
Nintendo.
you're fucking Nintendo, man.
Well, the
without
cool thing,
you, we might not even have a Sony and a Microsoft.
The cool thing that I like about Nintendo
Well, we got-
currently right now is that they have a under par console, performance wise compared to these next gen ones. But where they stand out is that their first party developers are finding new and intuitive ways to make their games look fucking good.
Well, the
You
one
know?
thing it's like Nintendo, like in the last 10 years, Nintendo's always been able to make better games with less hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Like you look at the DS compared to the PSP. The PSP always looks nicer, and everybody's first glance, everybody always thinks, "Oh, PSP was better."
Mm-hmm.
No, they just didn't have the games though that Nintendo has. That's the one thing is Nintendo can always outbeat
That was
the games.
Well,
the
yeah, I
new,
mean,
the new
Nintendo
Yoshi
will always
story.
have Mario.
Yeah,
and Yoshi.
it's like the 3DS of the PSP Vita. Of course, the PSP Vita is so much more nicer looking and prettier, but like, it just can't
doesn't
compete
have
with
the
the games that Nintendo can make. And the only downfall of Nintendo's ones though is like they can only make so many games at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So because they're once again their power is limited.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
once they do, it's kind of like I always say. It's like once like a new Legend of Zelda comes out, it's just like to me, a new Zelda like outbeats anything that Microsoft and Sony could do even combined together. That's how good that is. It's like I love it that much.
I don't know, dude. Like,
Because I looked at Skyward Sword and I was like, because that was the same time Skyrim came out. And like, people are like, oh, I'm getting Skyrim. I'm like, fuck you. What do you mean? There's a Legend of Zelda that came out and you're getting Skyrim? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
the problem, one of the problems I feel like with Nintendo do is, because their hardware and shit like that, dude, it looks like they're trying to target younger generations of gamers, dude,
Oh, yeah.
because of the way the
Yeah.
games look, dude, and that turns a lot of people off, myself included, sometimes, dude. Like,
Well, because it's almost one sometimes like if you have less performance, if you make it look more artistic, then it almost gets away.
yeah, and like it works, dude. It works
Yeah.
for me. I mean, sometimes, but
And
it's
it's
just
like
like,
I'm almost convinced to go buy a Wii U console
well,
because of
this
Mario
is how
Kart
I've always
8.
looked at it. This is the same way I looked at Wii. It was like, you bought either a PS3 or an Xbox 360. Unless you were like, Mr. Rich Kid, nobody really had both of them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I noticed that just about everybody has a Wii though. No
Yeah,
matter
no.
what, and that's how I kind of feel what Wii is. It's not really almost like it's supposed to be your main console. It's not your 360. It's not your PS3. I wish it was. It's not your Xbox One, and it's not your Xbox or and your PS4. And I wish the Wii was. But no matter what, it's like the Wii U always has. It's kind of like it's this extra thing you always have. It goes with it. It's like an expansion pack to everything else. It's gonna have these games that like, and a lot of times, I look at my Wii compared to my 360, and I almost feel like there's just as many games I really liked for the Wii a lot as I did for the.
Mm-hmm.
Now, lots of them are kind of hidden, and they're not really in your face. But there are so many great games that came out with the Wii. I have like
that's where-
25 games that I would say they're just as good as any of my 360 games on
Well,
this.
that's where I'm saying if they would take that step, push the bar a little harder with their hardware, they'd get so much more third-party developer support and
Well, that's
have
what-
all those other games too.
I know. I wish. And I just feel it's like one of those ones like.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Is it
I
really,
don't think it will.
I mean,
but
is it that
I
hard
wish.
just to like buy somebody else's fucking hardware and just kind of plug it in and just go like, there we go.
I mean, I'm sure it's
I'm not this
difficult,
huge.
but-
It's like I know how like if
Well,
I put better chips in my computer, it
no,
runs
it's-
better. But like,
it's
can I do the
interesting.
same thing with my Wii U? Can we just put like a higher processor, more RAM?
Is all these Wii U games coming out? These are still DVDs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And, to answer your question, doesn't fucking play DVDs again.
No.
See,
No!
yeah,
Why?
I found that
Why?
out, actually.
I
Okay, well,
plugged
we'll
I
get
plugged
this.
the DVD in the other day, and I was like, nope, didn't work.
Sony and Microsoft right now both are running Blu-ray on
I
their
know.
new consoles. What's funny about every single Microsoft sale of an Xbox One,
Sony
Sony gets a
little
cut of
chip.
it.
They invented Blu-ray.
because of the Bluray
That's
technology.
fucking awesome. Well played, Sony. Shit, dude.
Well, it's because they take risks,
that's kinda-
you know,
that's
like
kinda-
that, and it pays off.
Well, yeah. Well,
That's
Sony's invented a lot of the technology like throughout
Granted,
time.
they have the money
Walkman.
to lose if it doesn't, pan out or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, dude, it's a little weak, dude. That like Sony and Microsoft are both doing Blu-rays and
Well,
doesn't
Microsoft
even
tried the
play
HD DVD route and didn't fucking go. It
Yeah.
just didn't happen.
Because we remember that little expansion pack thing you get for your 360.
like $150.
I remember, yeah, because I knew somebody had one of those. I was like, how much used to get out of that?
Yeah. Because how long? I mean, HD DVDs. I remember it was Blu-ray HD DVD for probably about a year, maybe a year and a half, and then out of nowhere, HD DVDs just gone.
Well, you know what I think the downfall, and this probably you could say the same thing with the Wii U, is with the HD DVDs. It sounds confusing because you're like, is it a DVD or is it something new?
Yeah.
Where like Blu-rays, just you already know that's something new. That's
Yeah.
clearly not a DVD. And I think with the Wii U, like that title's kind of confusing. They really almost should just call it the Wii 2. Call it the Wii 2, people would know what that meant.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, they should just call it a completely different name in general. Just
Yeah,
like
I agree.
Nintendo,
Dude. I mean,
like-
calling it the Wii U was a little confusing, but
It was the same thing with Microsoft calling their next gen Xbox the Xbox One.
That's the stupidest fucking name. I hate that name because now
Because now you're forced to say Xbox
now
original.
I'm always like, dude, RJ, remember when we used to play on
original
Xbox Original? You know, I hate
heck,
having to correct
Xbox
myself. every time.
One's the stupidest fucking thing, dude.
It should be called 720. I think that was the best fucking name.
720 or even their
Xbox
stupid
3.
fucking their stupid prototype name of Durango. Whatever, dude. Just like something
Durango.
other than
Durango just sounds like I know it's not. I know it's a Spanish name, but for some reason it always comes across to me as just like America.
Yeah.
Got my Dodge Durango and my Xbox Durango, going wheeling and gaming.
Yeah, they should have just stayed with the 720, then next
I know, it's just like-
1080.
Yeah,
And then
just keep going. Fuck, keep. But that's one thing I always give the Sony. Though. I like how they just give it a fucking
No.
number. Number is just like that's the simplest way.
Well, something that's popped into my head too after saying 720 is that resolutions. You know, like resolutions that the actual console can produce. They're stating that they're pushing 1080p. So, I mean, technically, if the Xbox were to come out and say if they were going to put a number behind it, I think that 1080 probably would have been the better one. Just to push that fact that they are producing in 1080p. But what's going on right now is that games are still being released in 720 and people are getting pissed about it. So the developers are going back to patching those fucking games, making sure they're higher resolution. And
Yeah.
even then, they're still not 1080.
Yeah, it's kind of because it's kind of like a slightly upgraded version. It's kind of weird.
Well, they get 11... No, what's the resolution? It's literally like 500 pixels.
Which doesn't make a
under-
difference to me because I don't have a
under
big
1080.
enough TV to like see the difference. But
It makes a world of difference on that TV that you came down and played on my house, dude.
yeah, well, 'cause,
Like,
yeah, if you got a large, because like
No.
1080.
not on consoles, but on my computer. You can really
Oh,
tell
yeah,
a
yeah,
huge difference, dude. It's ridiculous. But
Because it's like my TV, it's 1080, but like it's one of those TVs where they make it like 1080, and it's like, why you're a 36-inch TV? Why does it need to be that? But whatever.
yeah,
I don't know. I guess I'll just go out and get myself PS3. I think that's like the thing.
yeah.
It's like why it's like wish that price would just go down. Or it's like I wish there was a smaller hard drive like they kind of had back in the day. Like I'll take like a 60
That's
gig,
what
80
was
gig.
so fucking cool about PlayStation was that you could go buy. I don't know about the newer ones, like the slim versions or whatever, but the older ones. You used to be able to go out and buy that console and say you buy it with a 20 gig hard drive. You can install any, literally any
You can
terabyte
actually do
hard
that.
drive into
You
it.
can even do that on the that 12 gig one.
Yeah.
You have to buy like the mounting rack and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but they said that like the only reason you should ever buy that 12 gig one is if you plan on doing it like a project yourself with it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, if you got a good if you want to like update the hard drive and stuff and do it all yourself.
Well,
do
to give you an idea of how powerful those consoles are, I was watching modders. Pretty much, you can build a $6,000 PC, or you can buy two PS3s, mod them to where you connect them together, and using both those processing powers, both those graphics chips, and it's the same, like if not better. You know, there's pictures of military, like Navy and stuff, and their big battle cruisers, just lines and lines and lines of PS3s running all their networks and all their fucking military hardware and everything. It's like, that is crazy. Like, that's how powerful that console is.
Do you remember that like rumor story where Saddam Hussein was buying all the PS2s?
Really? No.
Just when you mentioned that military thing, I totally forgot about. There was a story like when PS2 came out that like because of its processing power, like Saddam Hussein was like investing in like a bunch of PS2s.
I wouldn't doubt it, dude. Sony's got their shit down when it comes to processing.
Look at where he's at now.
Yeah, the PS2
Now he's
investment,
dead.
the PS2 investment didn't pan out as well as he thought, but He's got weapons of mass destruction. He just goes down. He's just got this huge game room going on. Oh, that's
Yeah, I went a
basically-
different route with the weapons of mass destruction.
Well, that was like the Korean test launches that they tried to do a couple
Windows
like
95.
last year or whatever. Yeah, they
Oh,
tried to
no.
launch. The thing failed because Windows 95 didn't fucking work. So
Crashed.
they sent death threats to Bill Gates
That's
and
the
all of
funniest
Microsoft.
fucking thing I've ever heard in my fucking life, dude.
So now they're all running Windows 8.
That was much of that line like South
Good
Park
call.
the movie. Where like Bill Gates comes out and like they're like Satan's all like, what? The Windows 98 is not working. You said it'd be 1 million times faster. He's like, well, it is 1 million times. But he like kills him.
Oh, just blows off his head. God. Operation Hide Behind the Darkies. I love how they're all strapping them to planes and tanks and shit, dude, like fucking armor. So bad. That was like one of my favorite lines too, where his chef goes and says, "Have you ever heard of the Emancipation Proclamation?" The guy's just like, "I don't listen to hip hop." Oh man, that was a good fucking movie.
Fuck yeah, dude.
God damn it, dude! Matt Stone, Trey Parker need to come out with something else. Like I know they're still doing.
I
their-
want to
their
do another
Broadway.
live action movie though, because their live action movies are so fucking good and they haven't.
Team America, dude. was-
Team
What's your
America's
movie?
great.
Basketball I liked a lot.
Baseball
I
was
like
awesome.
Cannibal the movie.
Mm.
What's the 1997 one before South Park?
I'm glad they're still doing
Orgasmo?
South Park.
Yeah, Orgasmo. That's
Dude,
another
that
good
was
one.
fucking
Dude, I'm glad
hilarious.
they're still doing South Park.
They need to.
They almost didn't.
I really want to go see their Broadway. I want to go
I know
see
it
their.
wasn't like $100+ every single time.
Oh yeah, and you can't find it, dude. Like I've tried to look for those like local showings, in
Well, it
California.
came to San Francisco for a while, but
Mhm.
$100+ for a
Yeah,
ticket.
100+, and you can never buy a fucking ticket because the day that sales were released, they're gone,
They're gone.
in like
And
5
then,
hours.
then you got to pay $300. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the Book of Mormon. I think I have it recorded on my computer.
No, like a Broadway show. Like,
Yeah, it might be like a cam recording of it or something, but
Huh.
I need to go check that out because I seen it on there. I just haven't opened it yet.
Dude,
so
that'd be so sweet.
I'd much rather see it. In
It's
person,
like one
though,
of those,
you know?
I'm not into
That'd be
Broadway,
sweet.
but like that's one of those things
Yeah.
like, oh, that would sell it for me. I'd go there for that. Yeah, I will. At the same time, I wouldn't mind them ending South Park if that means they'd start making more movies. Like that, that'd be the trade-off.
They were about to though. The end of season 15, dude. Like,
And I will say because it's one of those ones.
They almost
like,
ended South Park because of the goddamn terrorists, for Christ's
Mhm.
sake, sending them terrorist threats and shit.
Because it's one of those ones like South Park had a good run, and there is always that point like, do you want to go that Simpsons route where you start turning into a completely different show over time?
yeah.
The thing with South Park, dude, is it's so random and so crude on a constant basis. I don't know if
They
it'll
just keep
ever
up
get
with
too repetitive. really,
events
'cause,
that are
like,
happening.
Yeah.
in the
Well,
world.
there's always a couple seasons every once in a while where you start getting some episodes where it just looks like they got kind of. It's season 14 is the one where it's like it's got some good episodes in there, but there's some that just look like. And I know they're working on Book of Mormon, so that might be the reason why they felt kind of late. It looked like they just flipped on the TV. What's popular today? Oh, that's it. Okay, that's our episode.
Well, also season 14, I think that was the season that they started doing right after they got those terrorist threats and shit like that, dude. Like
Yeah.
when they thought
Was
about
that-
like
I thought
permanently
that was a
ending
little
the
bit farther
show.
away, but yeah.
Have you
But
ever-
then I would say like season 15, that one came back and was fucking amazing. And I think
have you
that
ever seen?
it might have been just due to the Book of Mormon. That was just taking their time.
Did you ever watch their documentary called like one week to Showtime or something like
Yeah,
that?
that's a really good. That's on. They have it on
Dude.
season 15.
That's
Dude,
crazy
don't
how
they
they
do those shows like the South Parks? Like
they start like on a Monday or a Tuesday, and then they go all the way through the next Tuesday, and are literally finishing up production like that Tuesday. Like
Exactly.
Strange
So it's
enough,
like
though,
they're
like,
doing them,
from
like,
doing
week to
animation
week,
though,
so-
I look at it as like as long as you have a team, that wouldn't be that hard to do. Because writing an episode, like you always just have ideas flowing. That's not that hard. You can mostly come up with a script in like 2 days really quickly, especially when it's just kind of short. So like I look at that and I'm like I can see how that's possible as long as you just had a team. That's the key thing, If you just had a team of people working at it, you could just
getting
crank
to the
those.
point of where you can have a team.
Yeah,
to work at it with
that's
you.
always been my
fun.
thing. Is like when you do an animation of like 1 or 2 people, it's always like, oh no, it takes a long time. But if you had like
But I mean, that's where you got
10 people, you could. Just
That's where you really
crank
got to
it.
respect Matt Stone and Trey Parker, dude, because look at how they started to how they fucking are now and how big and
Well, yeah.
huge
Then
they
that
fucking
first
are.
episode, it was all like, okay,
stop.
yep,
frame,
click,
click.
rearrange, click, rearrange,
Click.
click, rearrange, click, rearrange. Yeah. They worked on that for like
Still such a
6
classic.
months or
Where
something.
what season did they go back and remake that?
I want to say actually might be season 14.
They remade the first episode.
What was the first episode?
Well, it's like
The first episode was the one where Cartman gets
Cartman
an anal-
gets an anal
anal
probe,
probe.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Pink Eye was for like the second or third.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like yeah.
Look out, he's coming right for us.
Just as long as you say that, it's okay.
There's so many good episodes, dude. Scuzzlebutt, all that shit.
It's funny because a lot of stuff in that first season, they never like come back to the lot of it ever again. And those are the episodes I always think.
See, that's one thing that I think is cool about South. South Park for the most part is not repetitive at all.
Yeah. You know, sometimes my only slight complaint.
Streisand.
Plus, you know, dude, they have such a wide array of main characters that it would be hard for them to get repetitive, dude. Because like Randy is a main character, but then he's not at the same time. You know, then you got Kyle, Stan, Carter,
Well, yeah, you
Kenny.
can just kind of cut to some of these other characters and have an episode about them. And
Dude,
My
Randy's
favorite-
fucking great.
That's
Dude,
like
I
my
fucking
favorite.
love Randy, dude.
I think I love the episodes that are specifically centered around Butters. Dude, they're always
Butters!
so
Okay.
fucking funny.
I love that one of my favorite episodes.
It's
I think
just
it's on
so
season
oblivious.
6, and where it's like it's Butter's very own episode.
Yep.
Like that.
The thing-
Everyone knows it's Buddy. That's me.
The only thing is, dude, is I hated when they started bringing Butters in more is because they took Kenny out for a whole fucking season.
Yeah.
To
Well, that's-
put Butters in. I was
well,
like,
that's
no.
what- well, they had
I love
Tweak it
Butters,
first.
but no. Okay, you cannot remove Kenny and
Professor
replace him with
Chaos.
Butters.
Yeah, because
Dude, that's the only thing I don't like about the Butters episode is Professor Chaos.
You don't
dude.
like Professor
It's just
Chaos?
so corny and lame, and I'm just like, it's not even that funny in my opinion. But
the only thing for me that I don't like about South Park is sometimes
like
when they
it.
get too pop culture-y, where they start when they literally like where it feels like they just flip the TV on and go, oh okay, Jersey Shore is popular, let's just do an episode like that. Like those ones to me, they just don't feel that creative because those kind of jokes, like that's the easiest form
You
of
have
jokes.
to watch them during that time period too to like kind of get them. You know.
Yeah, and it's like to me that's always like I always call that easy comedy. That doesn't take any effort. Like I like when their comedy's more just like has original, and there's nothing wrong with having a celebrity in there, but like you know keep it just like this thing like it's original, it's really thought out. Like nobody would have thought of that jokes. It's, you know anybody can sit down and just make funny jokes about stupid shit on TV. That's not that hard, you know. That's my and the season 14 was filled with like a copious amount of those episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, though, and sometimes it works. Don't get me wrong. There's some episodes where they do that, and like it totally works out fine.
Mhm.
Like the Lord of the Rings episode, I thought that was totally fine. Kids playing Lord of the Rings, that makes total sense. You know.
The
And some
World of
other ones,
Warcraft. How did they? How
And
did
the World of
they do
Warcraft, that's
that?
another one too. When I first heard about that episode, I'm like, oh, Warcraft. But then I was like, I watched the episode, I'm like, no, that makes total sense. That's a great episode.
Yeah.
see, the Lord of the Rings, dude. That's what the video game's based off of. Is that episode?
Yeah.
I don't. How did they film that in World of Warcraft?
They actually they animated it. Like they
Did
brought,
they?
they brought in a different crew of CG animators to do that stuff.
Okay.
And then Warcraft, like, gave them a lot. They're like, sure, this is great.
Because I was gonna say, like, I mean, you watch Red vs. Blue, you know, like any of the new Red vs. Blue, because they completely reanimate.
Well, the
that
weird
whole
thing is,
show,
yeah,
too.
because I remember one time I just turned on a new Red vs. Blue episode and I was like, Jesus Christ, I gotta get caught up. I have no idea what is going on.
That's what I'm
It's-
hoping. I'm hoping in RTX that they have the 10th anniversary edition Blu-ray box set there, because I will buy that there.
Would it have everything on it?
Yeah, it's season 1 through 10.
God.
They're on season 12 right now, so I'm 2 seasons behind. But
Well, because I only watched it up to season 3. That's as far as I ever got. And then it's like, I keep saying, like, I'm gonna go back and just.
well, the nice thing
Rent
about
them all or just-
the box set is that not only does it come with seasons 1 through 10, but you get all the commentary, you get all the behind the scenes, you get everything, dude. Everything about the last 10 years of Rooster Teeth are in that box.
That's badass.
So
How
I
much
mean,
is it?
minus their shorts and stuff. Online, you can Amazon probably like 150, I think.
Okay.
But it's like I said, dude, it's multiple discs.
Humongous
It's fucking
thing, yeah.
huge. But and that's the Blu-ray. I think DVD's like more
Yeah,
like
the
the
concept of buying a DVD
125.
nowadays is, unless that's the only
125.
thing there is, it's like, it's kind of weird to buy DVD.
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna get it on Blu-ray.
But I'll probably end up picking that up, and I'll probably blast through that shit really easy too. So I mean, you have a Blu-ray player?
Uh-huh. I got Blu-ray player.
Okay, I'll have to bring it up then.
My Blu-ray player's not hooked up to my HD TV, funny, strangely enough.
Jesus, RJ,
No shit.
calm down. Well, I think we're about time.
I know. Well, till next time, make sure to check out oldmanorange.com for more podcasts, animations, music, art, and so on. Till then, I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And RJ.
And Cameron.
We will see you some other time.
Later.
thanks for listening to the Old Man Orange Podcast. Check out our website at oldmanorange.com for even more podcasts, cartoons, videos, music, and more. Send us an email at oldmanorangepodcast@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe, share, rate, and review us on iTunes, Podomatic, or any of the other fine sites we might be located on. And if you want to help out even more, click on the Amazon or GameStop links on our webpage before you make any purchases there. It won't cost you a penny, but it sends us a little something our way. Thanks again, and tune in next week for more Old Man Orange Podcast.